Okay, sorry.
Oh.
I feel like I might have interrupted you, but are you ready to go? Or were you just...
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you're reading it, right?
Yeah, I figured
Sesame.
just keep it from last time. So even so, I attended elementary school like all the others, and during summer breaks, I often played until I was utterly tanned. June, shortly after my entry to middle school, the day after I ordered a swimsuit for use the next month, my first hospitalization. On a day just before the first semester midterms, on a day when the first drops of rain were cruelly cold. Falling from the roof to the right and over past the sky. Of course, the first time it happened, all my classmates came to visit me almost every day. And when I was released, they even came to my house on weekends to play. And that was only the first time around. Autumn into winter, winter into spring, a vicious cycle. Hospitalization, release, clinics, and hospitalization again. And before I knew it, even the classmates I once called friends turned into acquaintances, and then into strangers. As if with every changing of seasons, I was being erased from their collective memory.
どうやらいい気がしないらしい。普通に生きている人にとって私の存在ってのはだから消されたようだった。いくつもの季節白い梅雨空を誰とも言葉を交わす必要もなく過ごした。私の英語の教科書は1年生の中間テスト以降まっさらな状態だった。そこで私の時間も止まったらしい。
There we go. So... Shit, I've already forgotten. Last game ended... It was like 2000...
It was like 1999, right?
Was it in the 90s? I think you're right. I think that was when Himiko died, was 1999. So a few years after. 8 years later, early summer 2004, protagonist. Summer, flowing sweat. A gigantic electronic scoreboard in the driver's license examination facility. Lit up all at once, my eyes and everyone else's looked for respective numbers. So she did learn to drive.
It said protagonist, so I thought this was gonna be someone different, but
Oh, you don't think Setsumi's the protagonist this time around?
I don't specifically because I read something and I think that's why, but
Okay.
I could have misread.
Want to read this then? Since... Do you want to do the narration for
I-
the protagonist?
Sure, I could be completely wrong. This could actually end up being Satsumi, but
We shall see.
if I am right, I will be reading, I guess. Dude. In some 8 columns of lit text, sure enough, my examination number was shining in the midst. It would make sense if this was her, because she did say she wanted the car. No, she said no to the car, right?
Yeah, I think she gave it to,
Chihiro.
Chihiro. She got... No, I'm thinking of the Sun Piece. The One Piece dress. She got that, and then she gave that to Chihiro.
Oh, yeah.
And then Chihiro gave her something.
I remember her
Gave her
saying
the
no
maps.
specifically because I remember Himiko going like, man, what am I gonna do? Everyone said no then. Like,
But,
so, I don't know. A nearly empty train car, perhaps thanks to the beautiful afternoon. I was still alone in that train car. I was heading back home from the examination hall. My left hand held a new traffic regulations handbook, and my breast pocket held my brand new driver's license. So now I've got a license as well. I might have said it happily, but there were no strong feelings behind it. Man, if that only that was voiced, then we would have known. I never particularly wanted it. I never particularly had any motive for it. I was just that my colleagues in the Technical Institute both recommended that I at least get a driver's license. Man, I know that feel. That night, I told my parents that I'd gotten my license. They merely replied with an "I see." When I asked if I could borrow the car just for a test run, he instantly and curtly said just one thing: "Don't break it." No. Oh, well, wow, okay. Well, I didn't really want to drive the car or anything. The response was all too expected. Those were my parents for you.
Sounds
So
like it's
definitely
probably
not.
Satsumi.
Yeah, definitely not Satsumi.
Yeah.
The next day, I woke with chest pain and went to the hospital. Sickness and I generally had nothing to do with each other,
Definitely not
which is
Satsumi.
why, yeah. Man, okay, I was right. Which is why I found the ER waiting room to be utterly boring. And just when I thought they were through examining me, they ordered an X-ray and some blood tests. Then they left. And again, I was left waiting for a long, long time. I'd already polished off 3 volumes of Shonen Jump A. I was just about to start on the 4th when they admitted me to the hospital right then and there. And it seemed that my new license still lay snugly in my breast pocket. I'd have to wait a long time for its turn to come. I saw him in 2004. I wonder if we'll ever know his name, or if he'll just be protagonist. Right around when the all too noisy cicadas had finally gone silent, I once again found myself in the hospital, as per usual. Of course, it wasn't as if I'd been there the entire time. I came and went, futile cycle. My first surgery was a month before. After that, I started doing the 5-minute commute to and from the hospital by moped. From then on, I was hospitalized, discharged, ordered to clinic, and hospitalized again and again and again. While I still had no clue what PET or PET or ERESA stood for, in no time at all, several months had already... Oh, PET scan. Got it. I don't know what ERESA is, but I think a PET scan is what they probably are talking about.
ERESA is a drug, apparently. Or at least that's what the initial things pull up. ERESA approved. This is 2015. It's kind of patients with advanced EGFR mutation positive non-small cell lung cancer. So.
Oof.
Therapy for treatments of patients with so many big words. What it pulls up seems to be a drug for patients with lung cancer, but this is also an article from 2015 saying that's approved in the US. So that could be something else since this is 2004 and Japan. Maybe they had it earlier in Japan or something. I'm not sure.
Sure. As my appetite decreased, my medications increased. I could feel my own physical strength atrophying away. That's not good. I kept imagining that my legs were getting thinner. But the needle of the weight scale rudely informed me, it's not just your imagination. And yet I kept looking on at myself with detached interest.
Same.
As if it were happening to somebody else entirely. As if I were looking at a scene on TV and like, man, he is not going to be a great match for Setsumi.
Very opposite.
I mean, but I say, yeah, I say that ironically, like they, just them. I'm trying to imagine what scenes between them are going to look like, and it's just like neither has any interest to each other. Like I think Himiko only got close to her because she was so pushy about it, and this guy was just going to be like, I don't care. And she's gonna be like, good, I don't care either. Let's just not care together. Maybe Zuko and Mai just hating the world together.
You're so beautiful when you're helpless about the world.
Yeah. Or maybe that'll, what do I know? Maybe he'll end up changing. Maybe she's changed by the time since she got to know Himiko.
Right, could be. She could be the Himiko.
Yeah. My mind could not grasp what had so suddenly happened to my body. Nothing within me was telling me that this was real at all. And that's why, even though it was all happening to me, I kept looking on as if it were happening to someone far away. The day of winter, around when Christmas trees had vanished from the streets, I was discharged home as a kind of year's end treat. It seemed like an exercise in total transience, but still, they made me slightly happy. I traveled back to a home I had not seen in a long time in the midst of a freezing rain. Strangely enough, my entire family was there. My parents, who had never so much as talked to me, came out to meet me, if with terribly stilted smiles. That's And my little sister, with whom I'd never had a pleasant word, had made my favorite cream stew and fried shrimp just for me. They made me sit at the table. They peeled tangerines for me. They were cruelly kind. It was an impressive display. At this point, a little thought occurred to me about my new driver's license, which was still stuffed away in my pocket. That perhaps things would end for the license without it ever having known any use. And surrounded by a trio of stilted, strained smiles, kept that thought as if it were someone else's business, with dispassion, ambiguity, and total disinterest. This January 2005. The new year began, and I returned to the hospital. But on this day, instead of my usual 4F room, I ended up in a conference room of sorts. They took me there. And then my father and the doctors had a little talk. I joined in. Well, they talked to me. So this was their so-called announcement. They said it in a terribly roundabout fashion, but they told me that I was going to die. Soka. That was my only reply. I had no other words. It was the only thing that left my mouth from beginning to end. Just like your parents. And the doctor's ballpoint pens flew across paper as if in response to my words. Those were probably hospice enrollment procedures. Business like to the last. I thought it was the same. So it's this simple. It was the only real thought I had. That day, I was transferred from 4F to 7F, from a 6-person room to a private room. It was a little different from the other wards, the 7F. Oh, I'm gonna be kind of sad if we end up seeing Setsumi made it to the 7th floor. First of all, the floors were sparkling clean. And second of all, the ceiling was higher than I'd ever seen it. The rooms were very nice and had large windows from which the warm daylight streamed in as if by design. But the windows only opened a little, 15 centimeters.
To be exact.
Yep. I tested them out, and my head would just barely fit out of one. The color of my ID bracelet had changed as well. The bracelet that I had worn ever since that first hospitalization, the one that had my name and blood type recorded on it. Its color had now changed from blue to white. A high ceiling, a white vinyl bracelet, window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. Man, are they just getting like a ruler out or something? Like, no, specifically. The TV programs celebrating the new year were still playing when I was transferred to the 7th floor. And it was at the dawn of that very year that I met her for the first time. Oh, yeah. Please just meet your hero as a nurse again.
冬7回
This is still it, right?
I think so.
There was this place kind of like a lounge out. Yeah, I'm guessing that's the same. You wouldn't quite know yet at this point. There was this place kind of like a lounge out corridor across from the station. This generally deserted place held a few couches and chairs, as well as a large TV. Stupid programs commemorating the new year were still being broadcast on that 28-inch screen. And there was a girl who looked absolutely bored watching that absolutely boring TV. Oh boy. Short, in pink pajamas, white bracelet on the wrist, just like mine. No. Fuzzy with long hair that almost reached down to her hips.
Sounds like he's probably asking her, since he described it as boring.
Yeah. Hey, do you find that interesting? There was no deep purpose in the asking. Simply, I had nothing else to do, so I started talking to her.
別に
Was her only reply to me. She didn't turn to face me at all. And she kept looking on with boredom at that TV as if I didn't even exist. Then don't watch it. Even as I thought this, I sat down in a chair next to her. And side by side, we watched TV. Nothing else to do. Nothing we could do. Yep, that sounds about right. Sounds about. I know. That was about what I expected for them. So we sat there silently and watched TV. New Year's celebration programs, as per usual. Useless array of comedians and oddities. Every so often, the MC's stupid, shrill laughter resounding dryly in this white, sun-drenched lounge.
ねえあなた
The girl suddenly started talking to me, but her eyes were, as always, glued to the TV screen.
あなた何回目
What do you mean by that?
ここに7階に来たの
Sorry, I have no clue what you're talking about.
そう初めてなんだね
So she'd seen my confusion about her question and come to the right conclusion.
じゃあ他に誰もいないし私の役目だから
Time for them rules.
Duty?
そういうルールなの
slightly, she explained that the rule was that someone here, 7F, should tell newcomers the truth. I knew nothing. I understood even less. And as if I did not even exist, she slowly started her speech.
それじゃあよく聞いてね。
Her words, spoken methodically, one by one, were a little different from all the ones I had heard from the doctors about this place. In their business-like crisp syntaxes, they told me this is a place where one waits for medical advice. This is a place where one heals heart, and perhaps they might have even been in a general sense. But according to the girl, that was just the party line. The truth was that this 7F was the only place in the hospital where medical treatments did not take place. This was just a place where you waited for your life to come to an end. Those were her words to me. I thought so as well. I felt it even before she'd spoken.
私2回目だから。
Second time doing what?
ここに来るの。
And then she explained to me.
Fourth time you don't come back or something.
Yeah, their time ends up being the last time, I think. Nobody makes it to the coming and going at a fourth time, I think, is what they're saying. That nobody on 7F stayed here from initial hospitalization all the way until death. While there was zero possibility of being cured, you were sent home if your condition was stable. But if it worsened again, you would be returned here. The cycle ended only in death. But it was at home or here on 7F. Always one of the two, you were going to die. No way to escape it, it seemed. And with that meaning permeating her every word, she informed me that this was her second time up here.
じゃあ一度しか言わないから、ここからは
She continued speaking, all the while staring at the blank TV screen. This wasn't idle chit-chat about when lights out was, or where the kitchen was, or anything like that. This is something completely different.
The third time you were discharged home, resign yourself. There won't be a fourth time. You'll never go home again. Yeah, correct. If you want to escape, head toward the B station, not the A station. Ain't nothing. That is the simplest shortcut. You leave the smallest burden on your family that way.
It was as if she was packed to the brim with matters like those. This is probably an oral tradition, relevant only to those who are going to die, and kept by those who came here for that purpose. So is this the duty that you were talking about?
そうよ。いつかあなたも初めて来た人には伝えてね。
With those words, she slowly stood up. She casually tossed her long hair, and it grazed my nose.
じゃあ検温の時間だから。
Then she turned her back and started walking down the corridor. Now completely deserted save for me, the lounge held only the laughter from the TV and the white flowers by the windowsill. In the end, she didn't even look at me once. A few days later, New Year celebrations were over, and the middle and high school students were beginning a new term. Just as ever, she and I sat on this lounge, staring blankly at the TV. This is boring.
そうね。
So we said, but both of us kept our eyes on the screen. Hey, is this place always this way?
質問の意味がわからない。
I'm getting at how it's always deserted. Other than the nurses, doctors, and help staff, and other than her, I've not seen a single person. Did everybody go home for the New Year or something?
その理由を知りたい。
Maybe she's dead and she's a ghost haunting the. I don't know. Probably not the case.
At the end, she still rejected God, and this is her punishment.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean.
じゃあ言わない。
We disinterestedly tossed back and forth this exchange that could not even be called a conversation. A slight breeze coming from the window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. From time to time, her hair would sway, and as if in agreement, the flowers at the windowsill would too. This was how we killed time day after day, staring at that boring good-for-nothing TV.
Oh, here the two of you are. Such chatterboxes. Here the two of you are. Such chatterboxes.
You get to be Hilda.
This is actually her daughter, Hilda. Since Hilda
Oh,
was on
gotcha.
her deathbed, you know, she clearly wouldn't be alive 8 years later or whatever. This is-
Gotcha. Hilda
Hilda
the
30.
second.
Yeah.
Electric bungalow. An elderly nurse said as she rushed toward us. From what I'd seen of this nurse's station, she was apparently the charge nurse of 7F. She was so old I had no idea why she was still here. Apparently her name's Hilda.
Yes, it's Miss Itsumi. Any fever?
大丈夫。出てない。
Okay. Remember, if you do get a fever, the dog will lick you.
That's me. So that wasn't it.
You really shouldn't be moving around like this. After all, I can't chase you. It's too much for old me. Do you understand? Everyone's worried about you.
別にいいよ。
Come now, what kind of answer is that? No one likes a tsundere. Oh, you children these days.
Nurse continued to scold and henpeck for some while longer. And the girl named Setsumi, just pretended not to notice it at all. She simply stared straight forward at that boring TV, paying that fussy nurse as little heed as she could.
I'll be coming later to draw some blood, okay?
Those are fighting words. So, with those words, the charge nurse went back to the nurse's station. I'd like to see her try to draw blood. Hey, you know, you don't have to fight that old lady. And mind if I just call you Setsumi? Yes, this is I stared at her white vinyl ID bracelet, and had the blood type and the name written there within. Is there something the matter? Setsumi?
ど どうして呼び捨てなの？
Huh?
年下のくせに。
Oh. You don't know that. Why am I younger than you?
別にそう思っただけ。
I mean, it wasn't that I was offended that she called me younger than her. It was just that no matter how I looked at it, I thought I was 5 to 6 years older than she was. That's why I took out my driver's license from my breast pocket and handed it directly to her. See, I may not seem it, but I'm 20. I'm an adult.
やっぱ
How
り
old was she in the last?
She was 15.
Yeah. She was 15, and
That was
then
in 1999.
from that 5 years after, she was 20. Right? Oh yeah, she was 15 in 1999, and then 6 years after that, she'd be 21. I think. It's 2004. Never mind. No, it's 2005 now. Ah,
It was January 2005. I don't know if we know her birthday or not, but
yeah, that's true. Either way, we're apparently younger. She only took a glance at my license before handing it back to me. I don't really get what you're saying. There's
ど
no
うでも
way.
いいじゃない。少し上なだけ
You're
よ。
like 12. But you're like 12. She murmured, as expressionlessly as ever. Her eyes were fixed on that boring TV, all right, but it also felt as if she was gazing at something far away. After they'd taken my AM vital
Morning.
signs? AM?
I think they did this last night. Like
Well,
the
yes.
morning vital signs.
Yeah. I snuck past the nurses and boarded the elevator. When I got to 1F, I walked out the outpatient clinic doors and walked outside of the hospital. My goal was the place that I'd been told about not long ago. The faraway B station, not the nearby A station. It wasn't that I wanted to escape or anything. At 7F or at home, none of us died anywhere else. That's what I've been told. In this B station, which the scroll name said to me had apparently been too many times. That's why, at least just once, I wanted to see this place with my own eyes. It's not as if there's going to be a guard on duty. Even so, we were inhabitants of 7F, different from other inpatients. Again, big love, vague maybes. So early in the morning, I headed toward that station. My legs settled into a lazy gait as I glanced sidelong at the people commuting to school or work. After about 25 minutes of this, I arrived in front of the station. Roughly 4 bus stops away when I calculated it out. Wow, there are a lot of people here. It was my first impression of the B station. It stood out a bit because I was in pajamas. but I felt that if I could just buy a subway ticket, I'd be able to go anywhere, no question about it. I still had no idea why I'd been told to go to the B station, not the A station. But it looked as if it would be easy to escape if I really wanted to. She must have come here many times herself. So why did she remain on 7F right now? Station in the early morning. I stood there, thinking of these thoughts, as I watched the people rapidly passing me by. That night, after lights out, bored of manga and unable to sleep, I
Forbidden.
wandered through the hospital alone.
You can't be bored of manga.
I was saying, like, it couldn't be me.
No. Clearly, you just need to pick up another series. If you're bored of product,
Yeah.
consume more product.
Absolutely. And he says he's a fan of Shonen Jump. Get out of here. There were plenty of good manga in early 2000s. But then again, I guess you can't just get the yap and read it. I don't know. They got magazines for those things. Certainly, it wasn't supposed to be loud after lights out, but we of 7F had a peculiar kind of liberty. So, in the presence of no light, in the pitch-black stillness of the lounge, that was where I found her. Hey, have you been looking outside today? The darkened interior. She did answer me, but she continued to stare out the window as if she had not. I immediately launched into what had happened today. Oh, by the way, I went out to the station today. The B station, just as you taught me.
そう
But her response did not change. I thought that she'd react with something, because she'd been there before too. But now that I thought about it, did the fact that she was here mean that she had no intention of escaping in the first place?
私もうすぐ帰れるの
Ah, for your third time. What? She opened her mouth abruptly and spoke as if she'd seen right through me.
でも次で3回目だからもう会えないかもね
Yeah, I guess. Probably what she was talking about was a temporary discharge from the hospital. She told me that nobody was discharged from 7F more than 3 times. Unlike the elderly, given the progress of our diseases, this meant all the more to young people like us. Her, we may not see each other again, was filled with that kind of meaning.
ねあなたはどちらを選ぶの
Decided on?
どっちで死ぬつもりってこと
And that word, death, came up so abruptly. I was at a total loss for words. I don't know. Haven't thought about it yet.
そうまだ1回目だもんね
she murmured, looking desolate. Certainly, it wasn't as if I was going to exist here forever. Just like everyone else, I would be admitted and discharged, slowly grow weak, and someday I would have to choose in the end, here on 7F, or at home surrounded by those fake smiles.
私は家は嫌だけどここも嫌
Then what will you do?
別にどうもしない自力で歩けるうちにどこかに行くだけ
Somewhere you can't be. This girl was staying here on 7F when she could have escaped any time she wanted. And I thought of that. Do you have any other place to go? Or to go?
あなた私を引き止めたいのそれとも
What?
一緒についてきたいの
Are we gonna have a jailbreak, boys? Well, no, that wasn't what I was thinking about.
じゃあ聞かないで
She was staring out the window as she spoke, dispassionate, not looking at me once, the same as ever. And then and just then, her usual expressionless face looked so very sad to me. I was a newcomer to 7F, just recently taught that the third discharge was the last. She was a girl who soon was to be discharged for the second time. I still did not feel anything real about what was happening to me. Would I, too, come to wear such a face someday? The rain at morning twilight. Sometimes sleet, sometimes snow, always coming down. And I was sitting there watching TV in my usual place. 7F felt as devoid of people as it always had.
面白い
No, completely boring. She walked to my side. Saying no more, she sat down in a chair next to me. That was how we began watching TV on this very day as well. She's probably in the same boat as me. Nothing else to do. Nothing we could do. We had never seen her response to the TV before.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
There's something bad here. Yes, it is. Kicked the thing. Okay. Sorry, we're good. Nothing's the matter now.
What did you kick?
It was adjusting my feet. Like the Hololive girls kicking up on my desk here, and I kicked off the power bank for my monitor. But it's fine.
I see. Well, I see nothing's the matter.
別に
Those were her usual words, but her response was anything but usual. As I looked at the screen, interested in anything that could move her so. There were nature scenes being displayed on TV. Beautiful hills and dales burgeoning with trees and flowers. And a vast spread of white flowers in the midst. I remembered those flowers from somewhere. It looked very similar to the white flowers that decorated the windowsills. Could those be the same flowers? You know, the same as those over there. I pointed to the flowers by the window as I said this.
違う。
Really?
種類は同じだけど、厳密に言えば違う。
Flower stuff. She glanced at the flowers by the window for a second, and then went back to gazing at the TV. She told me that they were different, but I couldn't see the distinction between the two. And it meant nothing to me whether flowers were the same or different. But what did mean something was this girl who usually never said a word more than she needed to. She was conversing in rare form today, which is why I decided to follow along. Do you happen to know a lot about them? Flowers, that is.
別に。
Let's see. Yeah. Really? But I don't see the difference. Flowers on the screen, the flowers in the vase to her side. I continued to talk as I stared vacantly at the two. Look. Are these orchids or lilies? See, they're pure white, right? I had no interest, yet I kept trying to make conversation. What? She resumed her silence soon enough. With her usual lack of expression, she continued staring at the boring TV screen. And just when I turned back to the TV, resigned to the fact that I'd get nothing more out of her,
Narcissu.
what?
Narcissu よ。
As she answered.
Style, you can tell the style is a bit different here. This one's a bit more like, I guess, rough than the CGI
Yeah.
was for the other game. It was kind of cleaner. This one, she actually got like the eyes kind of remind me of like what is it? I can't think of the game. Maybe was it Ib, that old RPG? Kind of like a Coraline-esque almost. That's like scratchy.
I think I've heard of it actually, but excuse me. Ib RPG. Oh yeah. I guess it does kind of look like that.
Yeah, what was it that I was thinking of? You might have watched PewDiePie play it way back when, like I did, or Cry. I think it was one of those games that just made the rounds with the 2000s YouTube when things were happy on Earth-ish.
Yeah, I probably didn't, because I was probably scared. I didn't watch a lot of like Mad Father. I might have watched someone play it, but it freaked me out. So in the Witch's House, those kind of games, I didn't watch a lot of the horror stuff. I think I did. I did watch Corpse Party.
Like Corpse Party is the scariest one.
I know.
Cry. Even.
I don't know why. I think I watched Cry play it. I think that was probably the only reason why I managed to get through it. But
It's definitely the biggest one.
yeah. When she answered, she turned to face me for the first time. Her hip-length hair swaying, pointed at the TV screen and looked at me.
So she don't trim it no more, it sounds like, since her barber is no longer with us.
True. I guess her bangs are better. The ID bracelet on her wrist was white. Her skin was white, just like the flowers on the screen. And now I think this is probably the first time we've gotten like the name drop and have it mean something, right? Like, I mean, we kind of got like a, yeah. Well, I'm saying like in the the first game that we played, they kind of mentioned the flower without having it much comparisons to the game itself or the plot itself. So who knows? And I swore I could see a tiny smile in that face that was looking at me for the first time. Do you think they'll do a double suicide pact? I don't know. Man, you said there's only 8 chapters? Actually, in 8 or 9?
I think it was like
the prologue?
I
don't
maybe
remember.
7 with the prologue for 8 total, or it could be because this looks like you can fit like 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and then probably maybe it is 8 with the prologue. But that chapter seemed a bit longer. Maybe it was just me.
Yeah.
I guess that was both the prologue and the
No,
first
I
chapter,
agree.
but Silver Q, so that's not the red Unos. It's a different car.
Oh, it's a car.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Coupe? I don't remember if it's pronounced coup or coupe, but a coupe is a type of car. Or at least that's how I know it. Let me see if...
Oh, I do know, because Jump in the Coupe. I know it from a Cardi B song.
It is coupe. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was a coupe. But yeah, coupe is a car with a... It's like
I guess I just never saw it spelled that way.
Yeah. You want to start the next chapter?
Yeah. A few days later, plunging further into the depths of winter. During this time that the rest of the world called exam period, we were sitting watching TV, the same as ever. Oh, this is boring.
そうね。
This exchange that could not even be called a conversation. We'd spend all our days in this fashion, killing time without meaning or purpose. Speaking of which, when is it for you?
今日よ。
See, so it's today. That word, that today, was a temporary discharge that she'd alluded to earlier.
会えないかもね。
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because even if she were to be readmitted to 7F, that would be her last time. And in that time, I'd probably be discharged and readmitted myself. It didn't seem likely that things could be timed so that we could see each other again.
あなた、決まった？
About where I'm going to die? No, not yet.
そう。
She nodded somewhat sadly, the expression of someone being discharged for the second time. Still felt nothing about the situation, and I hadn't heard from the doctors about my first discharge. Come to think of it, I wondered if she finally decided what her own answer to the dilemma would be.
Sound like
説明
clicks.
支度できたわよ。
Yeah,
Sound like footsteps.
maybe it's because like heels. I don't know. It's supposed to be clicks. A lady came up to us with these words. This was probably her mother. She nodded slightly at me. I did not rise.
じゃあそろそろ行くけど用意はいい？
And poor mom.
Sounds a bit, different. I guess she would be older.
それでは失礼します。
Nodded slightly at me again and turned to leave this place. She did stretch out her hand toward that girl who was likely her daughter. But the girl did not move at all. She stayed rooted in her chair even after her mother had grabbed her hand.
どうかしたの？説明。
少し苦しい。
苦しいってどこが？胸？お腹？
胸。
ちょっと待ってなさい。すぐに先生呼んでくるから。
Took off, and visitor used slippers in a sprint toward the nurse's station. There were but two things left in this place, her and me, both in chairs. I did not know a thing about her disease or its status. The only things I knew were courtesy of her white ID bracelet. Her name was Setsumi, and her blood type was O. But we were inhabitants of 7F. She was older than me, if just by a little. Hey, do you want to lie down over there until the doctors come? I pointed at the corner of the lounge, at the couch, at something that I had never seen used. It'll support your back after all.
別にもう平気よ。
Saying those words and nothing more, she stood up quickly. Hey, wait.
ちょっと待って。
Don't do anything foolish. She was already halfway down the corridor before I could finish the sentence. Nightfall. After lights out. Bored of reading manga, as usual, I wandered through the darkened hospital.
How dare you say it twice?
Yeah. The usual lounge, now pitch dark from the absence of light. That was where I found her. Hey, so you're still here. What's up? Not feeling well again?
別に
Do you think she
Lied.
faked it?
Oh.
Yeah.
So she might have. I have a hard time believing it was like, oh, she wanted to stay here with us, kind of thing. Like, I don't think it's
Same
all
here.
that quick, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's starting to realize that same kind of mindset of Himiko, where it's like, I should stop letting my family be attached and worrisome about me because this is nearing the end of the line for my sickness here. So
Yeah,
Kinda the
I was
pushing away
thinking it
bit.
was. Yeah, I was thinking more it was just because she was. I mean, she was talking about where she would prefer to die. So I was thinking, okay, so this is her deciding,
right, I
like,
guess it would be that.
she would rather stay here than at home, where her mom would be worrying about her. But I don't think it would be too... Well, it's a little too early for it to be because of us. Like, we
Right,
don't...
that's what I don't think it'd be
Yeah.
either.
But if she's probably... If anything else, I could see it as her choosing us, like, the same way Himiko chose her. Like, you know, it's because they don't know each other very well that she would prefer him see her die than her mom. Right? Like... So, I don't know. Was all she said as she stared out the window. So her discharge had been postponed after all.
Or it could be that. I guess if she had an episode or something, they would.
Well, no, that's what I was talking about. She faked it so that she would stay.
I guess, yeah. Or I mean, if she did have, but like if she did have like a legit one, I guess it would be a reason for her to stay. But if it was faked, she's playing the 4D chess.
Yeah, it could honestly be either. No one knew when the next chance would come, but it would probably be weeks from now, not days. Hey, could it be
Here we go.
that you feigned illness today? No, that probably wasn't the right way to put it. See, you couldn't say that we weren't sick all the time.
Right, yeah.
What I'm saying is, you didn't want to leave the hospital, did you?
意味がわからないわよ。
Well, because there's no afterwards for you now. But there was no answer to my questions. She had asked me so many times before about where I wanted to die. And it had always been that I didn't know yet, and that she didn't want to die at home or here on 7F. So you have no other place to go after all.
だったらどうなのよ。
No, nothing. This familiar lounge, flooded in darkness. A familiar stance, looking out the window without so much as acknowledging my existence. This place we called a hospital, and its extinguished lights in spite of the fact that it was only 11 p.m. or so. 1 p.m. or so. This was the tangent point between what was normal and what was not. On top of that, we were inhabitants of 7F, bereft of any choice save one, death or shit.
Sorry.
Death, unless...
Death or shit, those are our choices.
Yeah.
You either die or you live long enough to become poop. The end.
Yep. The outside world that she was staring at from the pitch black height of 7F, normal world. Buildings and homes and shit. The building and homes and shit. We're still radiant with light, and the street overflowed with people going on. Is that the den making all the hubbub?
What hubbub?
They're memeing. I'm just hearing Discord, and it was the den in the memes channel. And although my awareness of it was vague, it was still vague. I was already an inhabitant of 7F. already in a normal existence. There was no longer any way for me to go back to that other world. Was there now? Sometimes I was saying so. I spent so many seasons, so many white overcast skies, without the want or need to converse with anybody. At first, I would look down at the healthy kids going to school and the people walking back and forth on the streets. And when I got tired of that, I always watched TV. Nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Even when there was snow outside the window, it was always bright and sunny inside the TV screen. A dream world, stretching out before my eyes without heat, without cold, without pain. I sought comfort from my imagination. And so I amassed a huge knowledge base. Oh, D&D. Meaningless trivia upon meaningless trivia, over and over. Before I knew it, nothing that appeared on TV seemed real anymore. What was that in 2005? You got Cartoon Network. You got, I know this is Japan, so he doesn't probably have Cartoon Network. But you got anime channels, D&D. Even in quick succession, it also happened to. Books, games, and then my family. There you go. Finally, I wasn't able to view myself as anything real, as if I were staring at scenes of another person's life. That's why I was not surprised even when they transferred me to 7F. If I but closed my eyes, the world would always vanish. So I thought I'd be fine, and I did as I thought. And soon enough, my second discharge from the hospital. Oh wow. We're just speeding.
Speed run, any percent death.
In the time of my next mission, I'd probably be too weak to stand by myself. I found my own self, the one who couldn't do anything even though she knew this, to be... Oh,
We are
is this...
female. What? Female MC in my visual novels.
Is this the MC, or is this... Or have I been reading Setsumi this entire time?
I don't think so. It was Setsumi at this point, because the date was later. It was later in January. And Setsumi's already been going in and out of this, so...
Okay, cool.
I think so.
Well then.
Yeah, because Setsumi's already gone through all this stuff, and the date of it was, later on. And didn't we talked to Setsumi at the start of this.
I know, I wasn't sure if it... Yeah, I just could not believe.
What the fuck? Wait.
So it was her! I thought it was strange. There was some line that made me think like, oh, it's her. But
contextualize this then.
Yeah.
Not feeling well.
Probably for the best.
Cause we were talking to her. What's up? Not feeling well again. Not really. She stared out the window. So her discharge was postponed. Yeah. So we were talking.
So we were talking to her, but then I think there was like a little transition.
I totally must have missed that because I totally thought I was still. Wait, why is she saying... Okay, wait, so then... She knew... I guess she's talking about herself in third person. Okay, well, sure, fine. Okay, that's fine.
Protagonist is a young man, so
Okay.
take that for what you will. But that, yeah, I am very surprised. My time at a standstill, my heart at a standstill, my chest standing still with huge scars.
That's a rapper line right there.
それ
I
で
know. She got bars.
Calliope quaking.
哀れな方なんだ
I'm spitting. So that's you. Oh wait, yeah, I shouldn't have read that. That's
Oh
yeah.
shit! Yeah, we literally just. Well, and now it's changing again. It's fine. It's fine. It's changing again.
Yep.
That was weird. Yeah,
Please
no, I
say
totally did not
protagonist or
fucking.
Setsumi.
Yeah, I totally just figured it was still a protag, but all right. A few days after that, I don't know if this is her or not. The overhanging clouds had cleared up, and an endless winter sky was in their place. Quite the juxtaposition from forever hot midsummer days that we were always complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, my father had come to visit, a difficult expression on his face the entire time. He was saying something or other about my insurance,
Now this could be the guy,
and at that
'cause-
time his eyes were not unhappy at all.
I mean, you've never seen her dad, so it could, but like,
Her dad did do the driving 6 hours for work or whatever to accommodate her.
yeah.
I'll have to talk to doctors for a bit. Saying this, my father strode down the corridor toward that dim conference room where all this had begun, or so it seemed. Can we get some context for who this might be?
Man, what was even the point of turning the voices?
My hospital room was now empty. Having nothing to do now, I reached for the weekly magazines that they bought at the stands for me. And accompanying them, just as ever, there were fruits and drinks as get-well gifts. To one side of the basket, the fruits were piled in. Right.
Okay, so maybe it's her. His parents would never. Okay, since when did she hate melons? I was gonna say like, okay, so it's probably her because her parents are awful. But then,
What I
Oh.
saw was a set of car keys.
okay, so this is either she was giving her the thing or him because he wanted to drive and they said no, but now yeah.
The keys shone silver. Yeah, so this is probably the protag since he was told no, he couldn't drive. I think you're right.
Yeah. These were the keys to my father's pride and joy. The coupe that he'd sweated over from the upholstery on outwards. I don't know what these words mean.
I think he means he might have like fixed it up. Like the
Cool.
upholstery is like the like the leather seats and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure. Like the interior of the car basically. So if he like
Cool.
might have repaired it or installed new stuff and like brought it up would be my guess.
Neat. The car things. The coupe that I'd asked to borrow a long time ago. Okay, so it isn't. And I had been told no without a single second's delay. And my still unused driver's license. In the breast pocket of my pajamas. Something that driver's license song that everyone's been talking about.
I do not know.
Oh, maybe well, I mean, this is the first, well, not the first time being sarcastic, but I am the one that has the unpopular opinion about the song because I heard it because I had seen so many people talking about it and then I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this is a song, and I couldn't see quite why it was so beloved, but like I get it. It was
Baby
like
Shark
if
has
you
entered
had
the chat. As if this is
I was
a
like-
new phenomenon for the internet.
well, no, it's like if you've been in her shoes, like I get it. That's people were like, oh my gosh, this is like so. I like resonate, and then I listened to her album. Like her album went trending too, and I listened to the album. It was really good. It was a good breakup album. But I've seen so many tweets and like memes about how like if
that, Diva? Did you relate to the breakup album?
no, also, but like they were good songs, and like I got one of them about talking about like self-respect and stuff, or like respecting yourself. And it's
There is no meme.
yeah. Even after it lost its chance for use that day, it remained with me waiting, as if that were its proof of life. think about how I told Amy, like, Amy was like, oh my gosh, Diva, have you listened to this yet? And I was like, oh yeah, I listened to it. It's like, wasn't it amazing? I'm like, yeah, it was nice. I was like trying to like be real there. I'm like, I couldn't really see what all the hype was about. And she's like, oh, well,
She's like, I forget you're
you're
old
weird.
now.
No, she was like, you're weird. I'm like, but like for me, I think I was like, I could just really relate to it, And I'm like, and I hit her with the, but Amy, I kind of hate when someone says like, but Amy, you don't have a driver's license either, and you've never been in, you don't have a boyfriend either. And she just, I
That
deserve
you
the
know of.
No, that she's like you never dated someone and gotten out of a bad breakup before, and so why do you rate? She's like, Tima, it's the sentiment. It was I got the feelings behind it, and I was like, I know, music is all subjective and all that. Like if a song makes you feel a certain way, I have no right to say like, yeah, but you shouldn't. It shouldn't have made you feel that way. But I had to hit her with a, but Emmy, you don't have a driver's license and you've never been in a relationship. Yeah. Anyway, click. In silence, I grabbed the keys. I'm gonna blast Olivia Rodrigo. It happened as if on impulse. I had no idea what my motives were either. I just knew I had to drive by someone's house. I just seized them without a second thought, as if I were looking at a scene on TV. In a few days' worth of meds that I'd been dispensed, I stuffed those into a bag and I headed down the corridor. I'm sorry. I know I was memeing a lot. Is he stealing the keys? He's stealing the keys.
You think I thought it was kind of like
I thought he was. His
I
dad
thought his dad was kind of like, yeah,
it's,
like a little unspoken, you can do this now sort of thing. Like,
But now it's kind of
it
like
wouldn't be very
sneaking out.
masculine of him to be like, I apologize, you can now drive it. But
Yeah.
I guess he's sneaking past the nurse's station because he's not supposed to leave. Maybe.
Yeah, that would make sense too. It's just when he was talking about like how like I had no motives. I didn't know why I was doing it, but I was doing it. Like I wasn't sure if it was just an impulse to suddenly take the keys and go like he wanted to, or if it was like the fact that his dad's giving him the option and he still didn't know why he even wanted to. Like it might be that. But I snuck past the nurse's station anyway. Quickly strode towards the elevators. A bag in my right hand was in my left. The long neglected driver's license in my breast pocket that I just got. In front of the lounge, the next thing I saw was the girl sitting there watching TV as per usual. Oh, are we gonna ask her to go with us? Like Himiko?
Run away with me.
Staring blankly and boredly at the screen, sitting on a little foldable chair.
Oh, that went backwards.
Hey, that show any good?
そう見える。
別に。Oh. No, 別に. The all too expected exchange. Her eyes looked as far away as they always had. Yeah. Shall we go together? I continued talking as I showed her the keys in my hand. I got my driver's supplies last week, and I don't want it to be at home.
私は7階の家。
they're talking about their debt. I realize this, but still, if it. Well then,
Seems like we're in agreement.
Isho ni iko. Let's go. Iko. Shall we go to Ken? Haha. With that, she stood up from her chair. Her hair swayed with her and grazed the tip of my nose. Always my nose.
Some people are into that.
Being tickled on the nose with hair. Then she too stuffed a few days' worth of meds in a bag. A few days, man, they're like
I mean, I guess, you know, if you're literally
eloping.
dying, might as well.
Yeah. And he made to leave sudden after together. I switched off that boring TV. The grating laughter of the MC was forever obliterated.
Just like you obliterated him with that insult.
Both of us in pajamas, clad, boarded the elevator, heading down from the top floor down to 1F. So this dad's gonna look pretty guilty if he actually did give it to him, like, okay, you can drive around, and then now he's just gone.
Take it for a spin around the block. That was the last time I ever saw him.
Yep. I mean, it's how he just doesn't have a car anymore.
Like, they're just in the week 2 days, and at 1F, we headed not for the ER entrance, but for the outpatient clinic's entrance. The cold winter air struck away at our faces. All the more strong in a wide open space like the parking lot. Two of us wandered around the spacious field, looking about ourselves with unease. After a little while, we came across my father's car. Silver coupe. Hey, that looks like a nice car. My father's pride and joy, impeccably maintained. I immediately inserted the key and opened the door.
Here's my attempt at reference. You know, I gotta say. Shit, and now I'm blanking on it. You got a fast car. I got something. We got something. Fuck. I lost it. I was like, oh yeah, fast car. Tracy Chapman. Those lyrics are iconic and memorable. Not when you try to remember them, apparently. You know fast car, right?
Hold on.
I want to take it to anywhere, that's
Fast
what it
car.
is. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Actually, that's okay. It's first verse is a bit applicable, I guess, to their situation. Everything else is kind of diverges a bit. But fast car's a classic.
You know me. All it takes is for someone to have to say, "Where did he come from?" And then I have to go, "Where did he go? Where did he come from?" Cotton Eye Joe. And then so it only takes the one line. But here, I will. Is it by Tracy Chapman?
Yeah, Tracy Chapman.
Okay. It sounds very country to me. The acoustics and stuff.
Tracy Chapman. Genre. Not gender. Genre. Folk music. Yeah, I guess I would sooner compare to that. Music. And that's also, I mean, that's the only song I know, just because that one in particular is very famous, or so I thought.
That means nothing. Yeah, I'm definitely
that
not
coming
that.
from me, the person who didn't know the thing with 250 million views that came out this year versus the one that came out in 1980s sometime that probably does not have as many views. Well, let's see. How many did you
Oh,
watch
I just clicked
YouTube?
on the first. Yeah, I just clicked the first thing. I think it was a lyric video.
How many
Yeah,
did that
I just
have?
clicked it. 300,000.
Wow, okay. Jesus, I thought it would have a lot more than that. But okay, that's fine. Anyway.
Hey, hold on. What if it's not? Hey, okay. So their,
It's a fast car.
I guess, official thing, I think maybe, is 167 million.
Yeah,
So
say one of Might as well. Granted, again, 1980s, it didn't exactly come out with YouTube, so.
It did not sound black to me. Well, all right, you get your folk music shine. This is like when people found out, whatever, but Staying Alive. Like, this is when people found out that Bee Gees weren't black. That's have you seen those videos?
I don't think I have.
Well, you know the song, like, well, you can tell by the way I'm. Like that song. Okay, it's so funny. People, like, there's just a compilation here. I'm sorry. We're taking a lot of tangents. This will be my last one on my end, unless you find another reference that you need to make.
I will believe that when I see it.
Well, I'm sorry. I felt like one of these people. Okay, I could not believe that the song was so deeply rooted in black culture. They weren't even black, and I was with these people, not knowing it. But I don't know these people. Very well. Lots of the PGs. Ascending to the driver's seat. She was in the passenger seat, but she was so short that she'd have a hard time seeing the road. This seems safe. Two terminally ill patients, one who was driving for the first time, just out and about. I turned the key into ignition and stepped lightly and on the accelerator. Let's do this thing. Just as I learned during training.
Just like the simulations.
Yep. Reassuring engine noises filtered into the cabin. I released the handbrake and then applied the clutch. Now we could go anywhere. That was our plan. Do you have money?
She's got that 50,000 yen. Maybe.
Oh yeah, she might still have that money. I totally forgot about that. Let's boogie. She nodded slightly. Instead of replying, I shifted into second gear. And the car accelerated smoothly. Unused to the clutch and swerving slightly, already my anxiety. I advanced slowly. Yup, it's my first time in a car, so get used to that. I mean, it's the first time since I got my license that I've driven a car, and it's already been like over a month, I think. The exit to the parking lot was now in view, and the largest road beyond it without traffic lights. I turned onto it. The sound of honking car horns. Those are directed at me as I cut into the road. The silver coupe complained but did not stop as I worked the unfamiliar clutch, the stiff gearbox. I must really have rubbed the other drivers the wrong way, as the honking of horns did not seem likely to cease.
Tatsumi, do me a favor, just write student driver on the back window. Thank you.
But I just continued to drive without caring much. None of it quite seemed real at all. Hey, can you go ahead and write student driver? Windshield.
Yeah, a marker around here somewhere.
Yeah. Are you scared? I'm scared, so I wouldn't blame you if you were scared. If she says, like, no, I'm used to it, there was someone else that could barely drive too.
I mean, a little, so I'll feel better about myself. But I guess no. 2 people panicking is probably worse than 1, probably. Still, before noon, the high-flying sun. Skies of January, above and beyond the windshield. Skies so blue that they seemed almost morning. We had no destination. On that cold day, with an alien clutch and a swerving car. On that day when we drove onto the highway in our pajamas. On that very day of winter, one of us died. No, okay. Ibaraki Bito Highway. Around when that blazing high sun had changed to a dusky orange. We were continuing to drive, just driving in any direction at random. And in a place that I did not recognize. We're stopping for a bit. I finally brought the car to a halt. A roadside somewhere, far away from civilization. No traffic anywhere to be seen. Lonely. Having stopped the car in this nameless place, I started inspecting around the cabin. If there was anything useful here. We just run off without any preparation at all, but there was something troubling leaping out at me. With that on my mind, I first scoured the dashboard. Money? There's nothing here at all. A couple hundred yen cluttered around the gear stick, a few manga volumes, and a cheap disposable camera. It wasn't as if we had a destination, but the onboard GPS navigation system looked broken. So this was just a bad idea all around. I only had about 80,000 yen on me. Okay, 80 bucks is more than nothing. That was all the money I had lying around when I up. Pooch, please stop licking me.
Pooch,
So combined with the pocket change I'd found, I only had 9,000 yen or so. 90,000. 9,000. Hot Pooch. Of course, I hadn't really expected that there'd be anything in the car anyway. Pooch, Jesus Christ!
Pooch,
Sit down!
continue.
You were so chill!
Never stop.
But this lack of money presents your problem. It wouldn't be possible for us to find lodging on your budget. And it didn't seem likely that this girl would have any money on her either. Except, lo and behold, 50,000 yen. Is something the matter? Oh, that's her. Never mind. No, it's nothing. We're just broke. Whatever, I'd have expected this from the beginning. I'd 100% expected this. It wasn't as if I'd thought this through enough to have things like a plan or a schedule. I just wanted to get out right then and there. I did not want to stay where I was. Underneath the curtain of twilight, I started up to sell the coop again. Hey, are you hungry? I asked her as I drove along. Come to think of it, she hadn't eaten anything since morning. Want to stop at a convenience store or something?
Yeah.
Hey, don't be like that. The food's much better than anything up on 7F. This bitch is like, bitch, I'm not a peasant. We're gonna get ourselves some real food. She did not respond to me. Instead, she looked straight down at the pink pajamas she was wearing.
It's not about the food, it's about her pose. What the fuck am I trying to say?
Presentation?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, yeah, that's right. I looked down at my own clothing. Sure enough, in these pajamas, we'd be conspicuous no matter where we went. Not that we weren't conspicuous right now. In any case, we'd have to do something about them. I mean, I wouldn't spend money on clothes if I could spend it on food. And having made my decision, steered back towards civilization. After a little more driving, we arrived in a place whose name I didn't know. Probably somewhere close to a rail station. Certainly enough people around for it to be the case. There's gotta be one around here somewhere. I looked around anxiously as I drove. My back pitched a little forward, not touching the seat. Ah, there one is. At last, a coin laundromat. It looked pretty run down from the outside, on the first floor of a small forlorn building. This was as good a place as any. I stopped the car not far from the entrance to this place. Alright, I'll be back in a second. Leaving her and her confused face in the car, I walked into the laundromat. My nose was filled with the smell of bleach and detergent the moment the automatic doors opened. The exterior of the laundromat had told no lie. The washers and dryers were old and run down as well. There's nobody here. The empty laundromat swallowed whole my murmured words. You gonna steal some clothes? Are we Detroit Become Humaning this?
I was gonna make the reference, but you beat me to it.
Only a single dryer was in operation, making its characteristic humming noises. I immediately walked to that machine and checked its timer. It looked like it would operate for 30 minutes on 200 yen, and only 5 minutes had elapsed so far. Whoever it was had probably gone elsewhere to kill some time. Ruminating over this, I looked around just one more time to reassure myself that no one was around. We are stealing. Alice didn't like that. Then, satisfied that I was all alone, I put my hand on the door handle of that drying machine.
So they'd be wet if it's only been drying for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I abruptly opened it. Cradunk. Its door opened during operation. The dryer spun down to a forced halt. I pulled out a clump of half-dry clothing. Half-dry? That's better than ignoring the heat and the humidity. Yeah. And after looking around once more to make sure no one was around, I walked out of the laundromat just like that. She sounded slightly surprised when she saw my arms full of clothing. But I threw the clothes in the back seat without a word. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna be mad if she really did have money already, and she's like just letting him steal and like
Okay, you
the
gotta
stuff
save it
was
for
like,
in case of emergencies.
yeah, sure.
When things can't be stolen.
I looked back at the bundle of clothes with the steering wheel in one hand. Gaudy looking sweaters and jeans and almost nothing else. All in pretty big sizes at that. So probably nothing's gonna fit her. She's gonna have the long sleevesies. All still wet, but the car's heating would dry them out soon enough. Change into whatever you like later. She didn't react much to those words either. She just looked back at the pile of clothes. Look, we had no choice. I'm broke, you're broke. Oh, okay, well, if there was ever a time to mention that she had money, that would have been it, so. Well, obviously, it wasn't as if I liked doing this kind of thing. Oh, you know what I bet she would do? Is, instead of using it for, you know, safekeeping or whatever, probably give it to her parents to pay for medical bills.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can see that.
I would believe that. It wasn't as if there was anything I was saving that money for. I mean, $500. Well, in Japan, it could be a lot, but who
And in
knows?
2004.
Oh yeah, that too. It was just that given the amount we had, it would be very difficult to buy new clothes. After I'd driven for a bit, around when the moon shone full above us, I stopped the car next to some public park. Probably a place for children to play, tucked away in the corner of a residential area. And there, I started looking through the clothes I'd stolen some time back. They were mostly dry by now, thanks to the heating in the car. All men's clothing, after all. I'd inspected the heap once before, a veritable mountain of gaudy jeans and sweaters. Probably someone around my age, around the same size, it looked like. And sitting in the driver's seat of the car, I changed into a pair of jeans and a sweater. Hey, you should get changed too.
あれも大きすぎる。
Then will you go on wearing pajamas forever?
わかった。
She answered reluctantly, grabbed some jeans and the other clothes, and opened the door. Hey, where are you going?
着替えてくる。
And just like that, she started walking to the park's bathroom. Okay, that was fast. She came back in short order. Pink pajamas that she'd been wearing in her hands, a white shirt, and a pair of jeans on her body. Well, that turned out fairly well. No answer. I'd expected this, but everything was too big and baggy on her. The jeans were too long and rolled far up at the cuffs, and the sleeves of the shirt were much the same way.
パジャマのままの方が良かった。
Come now, don't say that. It's a little warmer this way, at least. She made an only slightly dissatisfied face at my words. Oh, is that it? Were you hoping for more girlish clothes?
別に。
Same response as ever. I'm sure that she was unhappy with her baggy shirt, but she soon returned to her usual lack of expression. It had begun to rain all of a sudden. A freezing rain falling from the frigid January sky as if it had forgotten how to stop. Countless raindrops spattering on the windshield and obscuring the view from the inside. At least it doesn't look like you have a leaky roof. When each grew too large for surface tension to hold it up, a few of them gathered, slid down, became rivers. And these rivers swallowed up raindrops underneath them and ran to the bottom. I stared emptily at the rain from inside. Parking lot somewhere, desolate place in the middle of the mountains. Having finished shopping at a convenience store, we were spending the night here. The dinner menu: 2 rice balls, 500 milliliters Bacardi Sweat, have a bag of potato chips. I'm gonna assume that's water. Bacardi Sweat.
It's a drink. Japanese sports drink.
Gotcha. Well,
And here I thought
guess.
that the gamer girl bath water sweat stuff was all just a meme, but it's actually been a brand marketing thing for many years.
goes to show what little we know.
There's Bacardi.
I don't know.
It looks like it's just that brand thing, Bacardi Sweat.
It's been a long time since we last did anything like this. Oh, a long time since we did something like that. What?
Probably just going to the convenience store.
Yeah, but I hadn't gotten that impression at all that they'd ever snuck out together.
I think it just means
Yes.
it's been a while since either of them have just been to a convenience store.
Oh,
Not necessarily
gosh.
sneaking out, just literally going out shopping by themselves or something.
I believe that. Or with a convenience store, rice ball in one hand. It wasn't anything of wonderful quality, but it was far better than anything served up in 7F. And when we were both going after the potato chips, she suddenly stopped reaching for it. Is something the matter?
別に
Her eyes were turned past the windshield glazed by the rain. At a few white flowers on the roadside. At some flowers soaked by rain. I didn't know if someone had planted them or if they were wild, but I remembered something about them. Were those Narcissu?
ナルキソス水素
Oh, right. Narcissu. Well, I didn't know flower names all that well, but at least heard Narcissu before. And this girl who seldom spoke a single word was actually talking about something. Oh my god. I have to send this to my sister. So we watched the My Hero app, and she basically called. I said no more distractions, so that was
Here
all.
we are.
And speaking of which, are these not exactly the real deal as well?
厳密には違う
So they must be pretty rare then.
別にどこにでもあるわよ
Anywhere? And where exactly? It wasn't as if I had any deep purpose in asking. It was just that I was making conversation as best I could. And yet this girl thought about it for a bit. And slowly opened her mouth.
西
West?
淡路島が有名
Well, I guess that's where they're going. Kawachi Island? Hey, wait. How far away do you think that is? I just started driving a car, so I wasn't even halfway proficient yet. It was probably about 700 kilometers away, and even on the tollways I couldn't say how long it would take. And in the first place, I didn't think we had enough money for that. If we went by normal highways instead of the tollways, there was no way we'd have enough for gas. Hey, don't say stuff like that. You can't mean to go there, right?
誰が行きたいなんて言ったの
I was gonna say the same thing. What?
問われたから答えただけ
Just like that, she went back to staring at the flowers across the windshield. The thick haze of the cold rain streaming on the glass. She kept gazing and gazing and gazing. I didn't particularly want to go there either. But I had nowhere else that I wanted to go. Oh god, and hence that's why the game's named it. And she's got the maps.
I was gonna say, got the maps and then maybe still the money. We shall find out. But first, bathroom break. Be right back.
Oh, I didn't even know if you were still ready to go. If you were able to keep playing. I thought you might. Oh, wait! Tomorrow's Memorial Day! Do you have it off?
Ding, ding, ding.
Ah ha ha! I used my big brain! Alright, in that case, I'm going real quick too.
But until then,
I also got cantaloupe.
時間の止まった私。
what a unique snack for an epic gaming session.
I know. I was craving some cantaloupe. My mom cut some up, so I got some.
Oh, well, her time was at a standstill. Seems like
I'm guessing this is her.
Pile of useless trivia upon useless trivia. Drew information from the TV and the TV alone. And soon nothing was real anymore, fading away into hollow space.
でも
That's what makes it so hard. Is they both share the same thoughts, basically.
Trains, cars. I loved things that could take me places. I spread out maps on top of my narrow bed, changed routes over and over and over. Sedans, coupes, convertibles. Rode on so many different kinds of cars. The number one route continuing on forever. I ran on that road forever and ever and ever. Indigo blue skies, beautiful coastlines. I ran until I came at last to these places sketched in my dreams. Slowly tracing past the arc of the cape, running on the white sand of the beach, the sun to my back. If I but close my eyes, I could go anywhere. Toward landscapes that I had never seen with my own eyes, longing for the soil upon which I could never hope to tread.
不意にただ知識だけを増やした虚しく憧れだけを募らせた
The sky after the rain. This might be back to him. High-flying clouds, steaming by at knife-edge speeds. The unique swishing sound of tire on wet asphalt. No destination, just the desire to keep going, no matter what. It wasn't as if I was looking to go to Hawaii Island at all. We didn't have the gas money to get there anyway. But yeah, this is him.
Yeah, sorry. I heard Pooch barking, but he wasn't at the door. He was just barking at the neighbors, I guess.
But I drove straight ahead on unfamiliar roads, even as I thought these thoughts. But where are we? I was forced to wonder. I didn't know my geography very well to begin with, and I was seeing all sorts of place names I didn't recognize. I planned on driving onto the ends of the earth, but with the GPS navigation system broken, I had no idea anymore. Before I knew it, I started looking around anxiously at the street signs as I drove. I don't know at all. Well, I don't know where we are right now. She'd said something to me. Oh, don't die. She'd said something to me, and I'd given her a casual response. Because she probably wasn't going to know even if I asked her.
Women, alright, they don't know.
I was gonna say, like, yeah.
Little does he know, she's actually a cartographer.
Yes, it might as well be. What?
次の交差点を右に行けば16号線
You knew all this, and you were just gonna let me look stupid. Did you happen to live around here or something?
別にそんなんじゃないわよ
It was a surprise. No, it wasn't just surprising, it was nothing short of a miracle that she knew the roads to this detail. Because no matter how...
Okay.
What?
I didn't know if pictures of someone.
Yeah, she didn't seem to have driven around all that much herself. Except she had. It's just not with you. Do you know the way? Oh, don't do it, Diva. From here to Awachi Island. Damn it. Such a dumb old meme.
I wasn't
I was
even
really
sure what you
about
were
to.
doing at first, and then I was like, oh. Oh god.
I'm almost disappointed at myself. Let it tempt me to that extent. I don't know. I don't understand why you're asking. I don't know anything anymore. Oh, wait. Okay, so this is...
She read that. She said that.
Oh, gotcha. Well, see, we might be able to get there on normal highways without having to get on the tollways. We might have just enough gas money to get us there. Do you... Oh, that's her... Well, no, it's not what I meant. Oh, you guys are so... You are the most boring protagonist. Imagine Himiko was just rolling over in her grave, like, I gave
you better than this.
I gave you money, use it! Like,
This was literally the thing I told you to do. You could
Yes,
get anywhere.
you could go wherever you want, and you guys are just like, do you want to go to this place? No, not really. Do you want to go to this place? No, not really. Well, we're just driving. Driving simulator.
Couple goals.
Yeah. Those words, she fell silent. I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, get caught before they end up getting where they want to go. She turned to face the window with as frosty a demeanor as ever. This is couple goals. Ha 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 ha. But she wasn't looking at the passing scenery. It felt like she was staring at something in the unreachable distance. And then that is Pooch running outside my door because someone let him in. I think Emmy, since she came to ask what he was. Get in here. Her. Then don't ask me. Just what the hell was that supposed to mean? How would she have replied if I had told her that I was planning on going? We simply continued on. No purpose, no aim. It wasn't as if we had a plan or schedule from the get-go. We just didn't want to die on some floor or at our oh-so-fake homes. But well, her home isn't that big. Yours, maybe I alone. Must have wanted something to show us the Pooch get away, no matter what they might be. He wants my cantaloupe bowl. No, it's been a couple days. 3 days. Swish, swish. Sumitai.
そうね。
Some beach whose name I did not know. We'd reached the sea before we'd known it. Oh, is this the very same? Probably not.
I don't think it took them that long to get there last time.
Yeah,
I
definitely
mean, I guess
not.
if they've been going in circles or something.
Sure. I've been planning on heading west, but somehow it looked like I ended up going south. So, great. Pitch black sky and a cold, windy waterfront. We both got out of the car and stared at the darkened sea. stood apart from me as usual and stared into the distance. The black sky and ocean melted into the horizon's edge. And after seemingly taking in the view of the ocean for a while, she slowly started walking towards the beach. Now I've got no idea what you're talking about.
楽に死ねると思う。
Isn't that what Himiko basically asked her? I don't remember if she asked her, or she just like that. Those were her words as she slowly walked into the sands, her back turned to me. The third time was the end. There was no fourth time. The choice was between dying on the 7th floor and dying at home. Apparently no one had escaped this choice. Those were the words that she herself had spoken to me. Yet on her second time around, she had told me that she didn't want to die on the 7th floor or at home. This was after she'd explained the rules to me, after her duty to me was already over. That's why I felt that this is what she meant. I don't know. I've never drowned before.
じゃあもしも今私が海に入っていったならあなた止める？
She turned her head to look at me as she said this, with the moon rising in the dark heavens as her backdrop. And her gaze, which had always been so far away, was directed straight at me. I don't know. I'd have to see when the time came. Jesus Christ, you guys.
そうよね。
She then turned her back to me and slowly started walking toward the sea once more. I don't know. Try it, and we'll see.
Can't tell if
Do
it's
a
a match
flip.
made in heaven or a match made in hell.
I know. Do a flip. Basically, just like just lovely couple. Hey, tell me. Do you want to be stopped?
I don't know, we'll see.
I don't know. I'll find out when time comes. If I start yelling help, then yes. On hearing my words, she stopped short of the waves. Strong wind kicked up a spray that beat against her feet. I'm just imagining it so perfectly. It's like, this is supposed to be very angst-filled and sad, and I'm just like...
Yeah, it does come
Like,
off
yep.
kind of awkward-ish and a bit comedic, at least at this point.
Yeah. If you want to be stopped, then I'll stop you. Yell help, and I'll get the message.
Somebody stop me.
そんなんじゃないわよ。
I think that's how that quote goes. Now I'm second guessing myself.
What was it?
Somebody stop me. I think that's from The Mask, right? Yeah, somebody stop
that's-
me.
It's been so long since I've seen that
I
movie.
don't fucking hell if I know. I just remember that one scene as like a gif pretty commonly.
Then, was that... Was I supposed to read that? What was it? Oh, that is him. Then it'll be fine if I don't stop you, right? There was no reply to my question. But her feet did not move any further either. If they really wanted to make this like more comedic, that's the only reason why I don't think it's meant to be for comedy's sake is because the music in the background. Like this could easily be a conversation that would happen in like a comedy. It's like, hey, do you want to be stopped? No, I don't know. Do you want it? If you want me to stop you, I'll stop you.
Suicide pact sort of thing.
Exactly. So that was her answer then and there. Oh, I'm gonna assume this is the scene you were talking about. Let me. Nice. Gotta love.
If I do
Jim
that,
Carrey.
then pull me back.
I suddenly act like that guy from that Mask movie. Because did the Mask come out around this? When? How old is the Mask? Again, it's old.
2000s. Pretty sure.
But,
It was early Jim Carrey, I think.
yeah.
Mask. Oh, no. Even earlier, 1994. Damn. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that'll explain it. So if I start doing that thing from the Mask, that oldish movie from 1990.
I guess at the point of this game, it'd be 10 years ago.
Yeah. The high, high heavens of winter. I got water on my mouse pad. 1 second. There we go. See, this is the music they could have been playing. Blue and clear almost to the point of movement. Strong north winds beating against the electric wires overhead. Silver coupe reflecting that blue sky on its shining frame. Me at its wheel and with her in the passenger seat as per usual. I didn't know where this was. The real problem was that we were going to run out of gas soon. We didn't have that much money to begin with. After various convenience store purchases, we had even less. We only about 7,000 yen left. Isn't that still $70? You only spent 20? Between food, I guess?
Probably.
That's...
I mean, convenience store food, so.
yes, it would be more for you and over the course of like 4 days or something. Of course, I had no idea how many liters this car took, but we probably had enough money to fill the tank once. We still didn't really have a destination or anything, but if we... Did we not agree on where we were going yet? We're not going to see the Narcissu. But if we didn't fill up, we could not go anywhere. But if we didn't fill up, we could not go anywhere anymore. That's a weird sentence. I'm gonna fill up on gas.
そう。
And with that, I turned the steering wheel and drove to a gas station that was coming into view.
Welcome. Will you be paying by credit or cash?
Cash, please.
Regular or premium?
The one that doesn't cost a lot of money. Regular.
Not his car. He might not have a choice.
I know. They fuck up the tank at the risk of, risk fucking up the tank because you don't have enough money. But I had no idea. Well, then again, I had no idea about anything in this car. And on top of that, it had been a long time since those driver's license classes.
Which one would you like?
Well, there I was at a loss for words, and there stood the gas station attendant, waiting for me. Gabe, I need your car knowledge. So, could you just tell? Could you tell by the model? Would you, be able to know? Or, is there, a thing?
Generally, you kind of learn it at the dealership. Basically, higher-end fancy cars generally require premium. Lower-end cars can't. My car could run on premium. It just doesn't need to. It could, potentially be better for the car, as I understand it, but it's not, a requirement. But other cars are like made for the premium because of like the way that the engines run and such. So if it's like, I mean, this car seems kind of like a higher end sports car, so I would think that it could very well take like the premium or the plus stuff, but I'm not sure if it's different for Japanese brand vehicles. Like, I mean, I guess we have Japanese cars here, so it wouldn't be all that different, but I don't know for sure. I wouldn't be able to. I would guess on it, but I don't know if there's like a set way of like a year cut off or like anything like that. I think you're just gonna have to learn at the dealership, or if you buy it, they would tell you.
Okay. I mean, I know what, you know, I guess our car needs, but like in general, I was wondering, like, is there like a way that you could just look at a car and know, like,
If there
hey,
is, I
that
do
looks
not know
like...
it. You
Yeah.
could be you could just make assumption like, oh, that's a fancy looking shiny car. It probably takes premium.
Right.
It's a sporty
Yeah.
looking son of a gun over there. He probably takes the fancy.
It's called... And that sounds it's fancy. In French. Then, just as I was about to answer at random, because I didn't care, this is... She spoke from the passenger seat. Oh, watch. She's gonna be like, I know car things. Yep. I'm guessing that's him. Huh? Oh, okay. Regular then. What she said. She wears the pants, as you can see by her really baggy pants.
Okay then, regular, full tank, paying with cash.
Yup, that'll be all.
Okay then, thank you very much.
Don't thank me, thank her. The attendant skillfully began his operation with those cheerful words. Strangely disagreeable smell of gasoline wafted in from the window that I roughly 10 centimeters. What is with these very specific numbers? Hey, are you sure that this thing takes regular? Not that I don't trust you, but also I had to
A
ask.
woman who knows directions and cars. I
know. His world is turned upside down. And she didn't care that she wasn't wearing frilly clothes. And she said nothing at all to this and just pointed at the prices list. Oh, so that was it. It was cheaper this way, so she doesn't know either, so we could be bucking up the stuff. I didn't understand it very well, but I didn't think there was that much difference in price. And then I saw the gasoline meter and the number of liters being displayed. Yep. 25, 26, 27, 28. Oh my poor wallet. Numbers were going up high at incredible speed. Maybe I'd made a mistake. Mistakes were made. I began to get a little worried as I watched those numbers climb. I told him to fill a tank a while back, but I didn't have that much money on hand. Even with the coins, I only had about 70 yen, and of course I had no idea how many liters this tank took. What was I going to do if I didn't have enough money? I did some quick calculations and realized that after 60 liters, I wouldn't have enough. 38, 39, 40, 41. There just kept climbing without slackening pace at all. Okay, Gabe, what is about the average liters of a car that you would say is the thing?
Liters to gallons conversion. My car is sedan. It's like typical kind of small four-door car. And my tank is 11 gallons, I think. And that's 42 liters. That doesn't... I guess that would be... Yeah, so 40, 41, so I'd imagine it'll stop soonish.
And I became more and more worried over something I usually didn't give a second thought to. Because I
can't imagine
just got my license.
that a sports
This
tank
will
would
be
take
me.
much more. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying this will be me in the future, 100%. Do not be surprised if one day, because I don't want to bite the bullet and ask my parents, hey, what do I do in this situation? I just call you like, hey, Gabe, random question. What do you do? Oh boy. Damn, how many of these does this thing take? I let the words out before I knew it.
大丈夫よ。もう止まるわ。
She's so smart. What does she mean? Huh?
50リッターだから。
Yeah, 13 gallons. I guess that's probably common for a sports car.
And just as she'd said, the gasoline meter stopped between 47 and 48. The sound of a receipt being printed out, and then the attendant at my window again.
Thank you for waiting. The total comes to 52,000. Well, that's not right. 5,240 yen.
Oh, okay. Here, and he's just like gripping the money so tightly that they just can't
That
take
doesn't
it.
seem. I guess I wonder if gasoline is more expensive in Japan. Because $50 for a full tank in 2004. Like,
It does seem like a lot.
yeah,
to
because
me.
to fill up my tank, which again is like 11, 12 gallons, you know, like completely when it's pretty close to empty, is like $35, maybe $40, depending on like what the gas prices are at a time. So
Yeah.
that seems like, and that's, you know, that's now with people, you know, gas shortages and whatever the fuck else is going on in this goddamn nightmare country. It just seems like
Recession.
a lot this time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just odd, but it's fine. Japan is alien world.
Yeah. Don't worry, Gabe. One day we're going. I swear, because I want to a lot.
So,
I need to at least go to Ghibli Museum or amusement park that I think they're making. I took out a 5,000 yen note and a crumpled 1,000 yen note from my pocket and handed them to the attendant. So that means they got like
alright,
$20.
Comes to 760 yen. Here's your receipt. Now get out. So yeah, they were at 70, and now they're gonna be at 20. No, that's not right. Not 70. Yeah, 7,000, right? They're
Yeah.
at like 9,000, and then they spent 2,000. Yeah, somewhere around there. Thanks for your business.
Don't thank me. I turned straight onto the road upon hearing the attendant's cheerful voice. Silver Coupe, now in motion once more. On the bright side, I was no longer worried about running out of gas. On the not so bright side, we only had about 2,000 yen left.
Also, fucking gas station attendants. I doubt it. I don't think even in 2004, like, I don't think that was happening anymore. But again, Japan, who knows?
And they do pride themselves in hospitality over there, so it wouldn't surprise me. This worried me, but there was something that preoccupied me much more. Hey, question. Me. Could it be that you're an expert on cars too? Me sees anyone who knows anything about cars. Is this an expert? The meme? The butterfly? What do you mean, Bethany? You knew that this car took 50 liters of gas, didn't you? And you knew what type of gas to get. Of course, it may well have been that this kind of thing was absolutely common knowledge that I just didn't have. I'm in this picture and I don't like it. But she'd proven that she was an expert on these roads not so long ago. Having been caught by surprise twice now, I took out the vehicle specification from the glove compartment. Oh, well, if you had that. And of course, you know the make and model of this car as well, don't you?
それは質問。
You can think of this as a quiz if you want.
インテグラタイプ R クーペ
Correct. And the specs?
99年式高速ミッション最高出力200馬力
I'm gonna guess that's a lot of horsepower. I had no expectation that she'd actually answer.
What was an Acura?
Cool. I don't know what that is. It sounds cool.
It's a oh no, it's a Honda. Oh wait, no, those are the same ones. There's two. I guess it's probably no. It's an Acura. Acura is like a higher end version of
Of a what?
Acura is like a higher-ish end version of cars, or brand of cars rather.
Gotcha. I'm looking at a picture now. Oh yeah, those are these look cool.
Yeah, back in
I guess these are like newer
2000s.
kinds. Yeah, this is 2021.
And the one that they're
2021
driving was probably
makes.
pretty cool looking for a 2004 car. You remember that time?
Yeah. I almost involuntarily followed along on the vehicle spec sheet as she rattled off figures and with total disinterest.
全長4380
Oh my god, what a nerd.
1690
I know, like how did she really? These last few years, did she really just like get totally into cars because of Himiko?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's alright. You're correct. Put the vehicle specs sheet back in its place. I couldn't believe my ears, but she nailed every single specification. I didn't think one could just memorize these things, and I couldn't even venture a guess as to why she had. Right before my eyes, she had gotten every single spec correct. How do you know? How do you just look? I made all those jokes about, like, how do you just know how cracked open a window is? How do you know the length of your car? Jeez.
I don't even know
Thinking back to
like
the
tire
roads.
specifications. I go to get them like topped off. The discount people have to open my door and look. So like I don't fucking. I get them checked every however many months. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember it. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. And here she is rattling off about a car she does not own. And she just figured out by looking. And thinking back to the roads and flowers, I was getting the impression that she knew a lot about a lot. Hey, just why do you know so much about everything?
別にあなたより年上だからよ
Burned, roasted. And with that bare response, she went back to her usual silence. They're staring out the window again. I didn't find myself able to throw any more questions at her. Older. It really didn't look that way at all, but this was something she'd said before too. Her name was Setsumi, her blood type was L. Those were written on her white ID bracelet. There was little indication to show me that she was older than me at all. The sun started peeking out from under the clouds. The silver coupe speeding along. No destination, no place to go, just running forward. No more worries about gasoline, but no more money either. Only about 2,000 yen left. Only enough for 34 more days at most of convenience store food. Alright, so now what do you want to do?
質問の意味がわからない。
I mean that we have no more money left.
だから
Alright. Look, you... Your appearance, as unchanging as ever. In this conversation we were having while eating rice balls bought at a convenience store not long ago. Finally, the fact that even if we were driving along like this, we were using up gasoline little by little. Maybe it might have been better to just stay still without doing anything at all. But it was impossible for me to stay still without doing anything, without shooting for anything. Just go to see the Narcissu. Begging you. I need to be validated on the name of this game. And I kept driving with those feelings at heart. If we just kept driving on normal highways, we'd run out of gas in about 3 days. Likewise, we only had enough for 34 days' worth of food with 2,000 yen we had left. We were obviously going to become too poor to do anything soon enough. Nah. Do you... Finally. Do you want to go to this Awaji island? No reply. She just kept staring out the window as per usual. Well, that settles it. We're going. Oh, I think I might want to. Okay, well, that's... It wasn't as if we'd escaped from 7F with any goal or destination in mind. Because east or west, no matter where, anything was fine with me. But maybe that's why I wanted a goal and a destination, because anything was fine with me. Around when the daylight had given over to the darkness of night, I had stopped the car in the parking lot of a pachinko parlor. Obviously, I wasn't planning on winning any money through pachinko or slots. I knew that there wasn't much I could do on just 2,000 yen alone. But if I were skillful enough, I just might be able to swipe 10,000 or 20,000 yen. What? So, okay. That was my guess, based on the many times I'd been to pachinko parlors in the past. Yeah, me neither. If I only had that much, we'd be okay in the first place, and we might even be able to get to Awaji Island on that amount. And so, I told her about the plan that I had just thought up. Like, unless he was planning on hustling someone to get that money.
Like pickpocketing, or taking, if people like leave money out on places and you just snag it off.
Yeah, he said swipe, so that's why I was like, eh. How about it? Wanna try it out? Alright, very well. I'd expected it, but she shot me down immediately. I hadn't hoped that she'd cooperate with me in the first place. And I told her about my plan as a fait accompli. Fait accompli? I'm guessing that's Latin for an accomplice or something? Not because I wanted her aid in it.
Fait accompli. A thing that has already happened or been decided before those affected hear about it, leaving them with no option but to accept it. Results are presented to shareholders as a fait accompli.
Fait accompli.
Fait accompli.
Fait accompli.
Fait accompli, according to the pronunciation.
What was the line before this? 8 minutes. Oh, alright, then wait here. I got out of the car and did stuff. And strode into the Shaker parlor alone. It was more crowded than I thought. Yeah, this makes sense. A sickly 20-year-old boy trying to hustle or something. Or lose his money, maybe. Lots of pachinko balls, lots of people. More importantly, cash boxes crowded everywhere. As good a place as any. Enigmaless, I headed over to the slots machines. I inspected them from the corridor for a while. And after having finished my survey, I focused on one set of machines. Lots of middle-aged salarymen, alright. Up to 4 boxes at their feet and up to 10 on racks above them. And an empty stand separating each of them. From what I'd seen before, these men hadn't come with acquaintances or friends. This satisfied their requirements. Okay, so he is planning on stealing. Perhaps in a place like this, no one would notice if I swapped one of those cash boxes. And in a store like this, each one probably held 20,000 yen or so. I had to mentally put the comma there. It was just that much. I just kept waiting there for one of the salarymen to go to the bathroom. After a little while, as roughly 30 minutes had passed, the salaryman finally stood up from his seat. After I tailed him a bit to make sure he was going to the bathroom, I dashed back to the stand that he'd occupied.
I'd be very surprised that people leave out the cash like that.
I was just about to say, how stupid.
There's like a lot of stuff on the honor system or whatever, but still.
I know, I would never. And watching the people who were hitting the slots in at the attendants, I slowly approached that stand. Then, yoink. So as to not raise any suspicion, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, I swiped one of those cash boxes underfoot. Yup. Way to go. That moment, coins scattered everywhere with a thunderous noise. I'd been meaning to pick it up. No, I really had picked it up with my very own hands. But they were unable to bear that weight, and the cash box crashed onto the floor. Got it. Everyone turned in my direction to see what the commotion was all about. I am now a thief. I got the feeling that someone was shouting. I got the feeling that someone was running toward me. I got the feeling that I should be running. But that was all behind me. I had already bolted and was less than 2 meters away from the entrance of the establishment by then. God, I hope you got at least most of it, jeez. I put the engine in ignition in a hurry and floored the pedal. When I spun the wheel to make my hasty getaway, just then,
Someone's slamming on his car? Oh.
oh, I'd run against the curb or something as I turned to make my getaway. Thus the horrible crunching sound.
Pop a tire? Oh, no, he's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as he didn't kill anybody. But I accelerated onto the road before me without giving it a second thought. My suddenly constricting, out-of-breath chest in the silver coupe, speeding out the daylight and into darkness. I was concerned about the crash a little while ago, but I had to distance myself from that place now. And soon, after 10 minutes of this, a fair distance away from that pachinko parlor, I stopped at some roadside and started to get out to inspect the damage. Oh wow, it was that bad? I thought you just ran over the curb. Yeah, doesn't look too serious. Your dad's gonna kill you before the illness does. She sounded slightly worried as she called out to me. I answered her as I inspected the damage. There was just a bump in the rear fender and a small crack in the muffler. The rear fender. Bender. Okay, so it's that part of the car. Yep. Didn't look as if there would be any problem driving like this. Let out a sigh, somewhat relieved. That sucked. You think? I thought back at what had happened at the pachinko parlor. I'd slipped up there, but had I been a little more skillful, I might have pulled it off. And the reason I wasn't able to hold onto that cash box was because it had been a while since I'd lifted something heavy. If I held onto it with all my strength at the outset, I might have been able to make it.
勘違いしてるわね。
You miscalculated.
I loved the money more than I realized my own strength. Huh?
今のあなたは以前のあなたとは違うはず。
Spoke as if she'd seen straight through me. But that kind of way.
同じように考えない方がいい。
Wait, so did he not get any of it? Did it all spill on the floor and he just dipped?
Yeah, it seems like he dropped it and bailed.
Dang. Perhaps she was right. I didn't want to admit how changed I was. Fair enough. I hadn't anticipated at all that I could grow this weak. Then what should I do? No answer.
I'm only about pointing out your flaws. I don't offer solutions.
Yeah, I don't... I'm not the person that cares about, you know, what we do from here on out, apparently, because I am not the... What do they call it? I don't know, I'm not that kind of heroine. I was gonna say whatever they call Haruhi from Oran. She was the protagonist who literally didn't want to do anything. Like, she didn't want to be the female character, the main female character, basically. And they were like always trying to get her to like participate. And she was always just like no until they mentioned Fancy Tuna or something, and they were like okay. But anyway, I stood in silence.
Like passive versus active, or is it more like of a specific?
Yeah, it might have been. I thought it might be, but I think that works probably better because she's not the active protagonist; she is the passive one. Eyes turned in silence toward the window to stare into the dark night sky. This was probably the way she was telling me to give up. Okay.
Want to start the next chapter? You want to call it there?
No, I'm good to keep going.
Cool. Emerald Sea sounds different from the beach of last
時
time.
間を止め
It does.
心情報だけを
And this is
積
probably
み
her.
重ねる日々
I spent gazing at a map, closing my eyes, traveling through unfamiliar roads. One day, the usual monthly magazines, a photograph on a front cover drew my eyes. A female model in a showy swimsuit. Oh no, I'm gay. Provocative poses
Jesus.
on a sandy beach. A smile captured right before the emerald sea that I'd always dreamed about. She was probably my age, smiling at me happily, cheerfully, with her outstanding figure. It wasn't as if I was jealous or anything. I didn't own these swimsuits to begin with, and I didn't come close to having a need for any of them. My pajamas were quite enough for me.
いくつもの季節誰とも言葉を交わす必要もなく過ごした
The first year of baby school, the day of my first hospitalization. I remember having ordered a swimsuit. I remembered having done so many years ago now. That day I remembered that swimsuit had lost its opportunity to be used. I took that school swimsuit, new as the day I was, out on the floor where I patiently waited for years. I took off my usual pajamas and timidly put on that navy swimsuit. I was shocked. It had already been years, and yet it fit me as if it had been made for me that very day. And that swimsuit model was smiling at me warmly, smiling at me from the midst of the Emerald Sea, smiling at me warmly and happily with that beautiful womanly figure. And it was saddening. It wasn't as if I was jealous, no. The truth was that I was probably yearning for it. Yearning for it impossibly, stubbornly, because I knew that it was absolutely impossible.
だけど胸の大きな傷跡が諦め生涯の伴侶は目を閉じた世界にしろと諭した
Guessing this is back to me?
I would think so.
Around the time when the sun slowly arced down and dyed the western horizon orange. We were on the road as usual. What should we do now? We really had no more money left to spare.
ねえあなた
As I thought about these things, she caught me. As I thought about on these stupid things, she caught me by surprise by calling out to me.
あなたお風呂は入れるの
Yeah, they said that I could go ahead unless it was a long, protracted bath. I don't know what a protracted bath is.
Just kind of like extended,
私も似たようなもんよ
like staying in there for a long time.
I know what a protractor is. It's the thingy that you use to draw circles.
Yeah, protracted is just to mean like to extend something, make it longer.
Gotcha. That was her, right?
Yeah.
What she meant by allowed, and what I meant by they, was that the doctors didn't caution us against it. There had been many who had been forbidden to do so due to kidney or digestive tract issues. And now that I thought about it, her problem was probably in her circulatory system, just like me. take a bath? No, I kind of wanted to do so as well. Even so, we didn't have enough money to stay at a hotel or an inn. Then do you want to stop by a public bathhouse?
銭
Yeah, we got the money for that at least. What do you mean, fine? It had already been 3 days since we'd escaped from 7F. We were allowed to bathe twice a week there, and had sponge baths twice a day as well. Then again, we weren't getting very sweaty given their season, and since we were in a car, we weren't getting dirty. Could it be that it's embarrassing for you to be in a public bathhouse?
別にそんな意味じゃないわよ。
And a time when the sun had completely disappeared and the moon waxed large in the night sky. Some distance away, I found something that looked like a school. This would have to do. Are we breaking in? I stopped the car before the gates. Then I rummaged in the back seat through the clump of clothing there. If I remembered correctly, there were 2 to 3 towels in this heap. Then, after sifting through a bunch of clothes, I found a hand towel after all. It had the legend Shiraishi Construction written on it. Probably one of those appreciation gifts they gave out like candy. Alright, then wait a bit. Taking 2 towels with me, I headed toward the school. I climbed over the closed gates and looked around anxiously for my target. Ah, there it is. I'm surprised he could climb gates, but... I found a water faucet station, probably for gardening use. I turned the cold water poured out of the faucet. Water cold enough to freeze me stiff. Yeah, in winter, I believe it. I wet the 2 towels and squeezed them out. Sorry for the wait. Here. Handed over one of the 2 towels to her. Then I took off my sweater and started washing myself. The cold, wet towel felt pretty good against the warm heating of the car. Hey, you go ahead and clean yourself too. It feels nice and cold too.
わかった。
She was a little reluctant at first, but then she slowly started undoing her buttons. a shirt and jeans that were all too big on her. Unlike me, she simply washed herself by retracting her hands into the shirt.
見ないでよ。
Oh. What is it? Oh, sorry. That's right. I forgot we're in Japanese. She murmured with the wet towel in her hand, her clothes half on, half off. It was the first time I'd seen her look like that. A little annoyed, a little embarrassed. Inside the car, our backs turned to each other. Hey, feels pretty good, eh? Inside the car, shrouded in the dark of night. Drawing myself off, reflected in the glass of the windows. Which also reflected her with her back towards me, drying herself off just as I was. She'd taken off her shirt just as I had. Lewd, hentai, baka. I didn't mean to look, but I could see. Big scars on her chest. Probably post-surgical. Didn't know what for, but they were much larger than mine.
ねえあなた。
Oh, what is it? Are you gonna hit me?
そんなに
I believe it.
珍しい。
Manga hentai.
Her back turned to me, speaking to me, reflected in the window. You ain't slick. Yeah, so 3 more days? It's Emmy's birthday! Silver coupe in motion underneath the cloudy skies. Driving around without a destination, as per usual. It was already 3 days later. We're still not going to the...
She didn't say. He said you have to vote on it. It has to be unanimously.
She didn't say no!
She did say yes.
I know. God. Nothing had really changed in that time. This is just Driving Simulator. Along the way, we found a free public open-air bath. And since it seemed devoid of people, we were able to take a bath after all. Other than that, we were out of money, and we were running out of gas again. I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter if they do decide to go to the island, because they're not... Yeah.
Unless she's got the 50,000 still.
I know, but I feel like at this point she would have mentioned it. I mean, all this like we don't have money. I just tried to rob a guy. I failed epically. We still don't have money. Don't have money to go to the bathhouse. Are you tired? Are you getting tired? Tired?
Of holding out on me?
Yeah. That's me. Got it. We exchanged these words while eating convenience store rice balls. If she had $50,000, we could be eating way better. Not $50,000, 50,000 yen. They might have been tastier than anything up at 7F, but they were becoming pretty boring by now. Just like us. We didn't have enough money to have anything but this kind of meal. Or so she claims. What, my complaints? What? Was I too loud in my thoughts? What is it all of a sudden?
車の音前より 大きくなって
It didn't take regular. Yeah, fair enough. This is probably because I cracked the muffler when I was escaping from the pachinko parlor. Oh, that too. But that'd probably be better. I hadn't really noticed it, but sure enough, the crowd was sounding louder. Not a real impediment to driving, or so you think, and your dad's probably still gonna kill you.
Well, I'm dying anyway.
Yeah, honestly, hey, you didn't want to die at home, you didn't want to die in 7F, let's just die in the parking lot. But the bigger problem was the gas. I'd already been driving for 5 minutes since the meter had bottomed out at empty. What? That's bad, right?
Yeah, you're gonna be going. Chuk, 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 chuk. As you pull
Yeah.
yourself down here soon.
And I only had 900 yen left. Unlike last time, this was obviously not enough. And if the car stopped due to a lack of gas, we'd be able to do nothing anymore. Very astute observation. Or hypothesis. Whatever it is. Having decided, I looked for a gas station, and one that was self-service, so I wouldn't have to deal with that annoying ass attendant. I found one, I stopped the car next to the nearest pump. I'm gonna get some gas.
That's what they all say.
Yep. But don't get out of the car. No answer. She probably knew what I meant by that. I don't.
Try another robbery?
I know, that's what I mean, I didn't want to
So
believe
well
it.
last time.
Yeah. And he doesn't, like, armed robbery, like, he don't have, like, a weapon or anything, so. I opened the cap to the gas tank. Oh, wait.
Are they gonna siphon gas?
So, yeah, it's self-service, so you can... The one that... Don't you typically have to go tell them, like, hey,
Yeah,
I want it on
those
this
won't
one?
work until you've
You put your
paid.
credit card in or something.
Yeah, so they might be trying to like siphon gas from another car.
Huh. Well, okay. I opened the cap to the gas tank and snaked in a gas hose. Only one other car in the station, the little building with an attendant within. Probably there to get payment and give back change. According to the notice on the wall, you're supposed to take the receipt to him when done. Ah, it is one of those.
Oh.
Okay, we could probably make our getaway right now if we wanted. Is what I felt as I looked around the quiet gas station. 23, 24, 25, 26. Numbers went by on the meter. Too slowly, it seemed, like last time. I kept wondering uneasily if it wouldn't fill up a little bit faster. And then after the meter hit 40, right before the tank was full. Yep. I went to self-service for a reason, guy.
Welcome.
No. For some reason, the attendant, who had been in the building up until now, came rushing toward us, like he could smell the thief on me.
Sir, are you pretty sure an ashtrays okay?
They're... Yes? Yeah, they're fine. They are.
I see. Well, it is cold out, so please be careful.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. That was sure if your family called or something.
No, it just flat out, like, it was totally fine until it suddenly said I had been disconnected, but by that time I'd already called, like, said, Gabe,
No, but I was not getting any of that, but now I hear you again.
Gotcha. Well, I read the line, so I was very confused. While he did so, the pump detected that the tank was full, and with a business-like sound, spit out a receipt.
Please go over there to pay.
Stopped wiping the windows for a second and pointed out the building. I held the receipt in my hand in silence and stood completely still, wondering what I should do.
Is something the matter, sir?
Oh no, it's nothing. For now, I got back into the car. And then I just turned the engine into the ignition and I just left. What should I do now? He's saying it was washing. Oh, he's saying it was washing the rear window by now. Jesus. So if I floored the accelerator now, he'd just go flying forward, right?
No, I mean, unless he's in reverse. Like, if he's watching the rear window and you tore off forward, you know, he'd be fine.
Well, I know. I was just thinking, like, the rear window, like if they were leaning over it and you just pick them up with you. Wait, what's a rear accelerator? Do I know what a rear accelerator is?
I don't. It's not different. It's the same thing for. I'm not sure what you might be thinking of, but I think he'd be fine. If he's like at the rear window that's behind the car, and if they again accelerate and go forward, then it's no.
I thought it said rear window, but then I thought it said rear accelerator, and I was like, "What's a rear accelerator?" It's just an accelerator.
Yeah, it would just be whether or not you're in drive or reverse.
Yeah, I was thinking if he floored it and went in drive, and he was like leaning over to wash the, that rear window, then maybe, I don't know cars. That he'd be able to read the license plate number right away.
That's a good thing to think about.
And we'd get arrested just like that. But we had to escape now. Having decided, I floored the clutch. And then, just as I was about to shift from neutral into first gear, she did. She abruptly produced an envelope and then took out a 10,000 yen note and gave it to me.
She did have it this whole time.
You have money on you? I'd never have thought that she had any. And because of that, we'd had so many hardships up until now. So love that for us. Why didn't you tell me? If she says you didn't ask or something, like, I'm gonna...
聞いた
Was that not employed for more situation?
No, I didn't. I guess I didn't. You're right. That's on me. Oh my god. With that, she turned back in silence to the window that I considered throwing her out of, but it's fine. The silver coupe in motion once more, back on the road. tank was full again. We had 5,000 something, whatever that line was. What did it say before that? And we had a 5,000 yen note as change. But what had just happened was weighing heavily on my mind. I stole some guy's clothes for her. I was trying to rob a guy in a pachinko thing for her. Hey, you know, here, this is all of it.
That was probably her, I guess.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Huh? Before I could get any further, she presented the envelope to me. Can I use this?
別にいいわよ。
Let's into the envelope, and there were 4 10,000 yen notes inside. This would be enough.
We could go anywhere with this.
Yeah. But now there was something entirely different on my mind. Who did you rob? why did she have this much money on her? The couple thousand yen that I'd brought with me were just whatever I'd had on hand at the time. God, could you imagine having played this first?
Yeah.
And then the second one, we would have been so frustrated. Like, you had money this entire time! Like, even more so than we already were. Or at least, I'll speak for myself. Even more than I already was. And this mysterious girl that we're just letting tag along without knowing her history. But we do know her history. We know what she's been through. But in her case, it was as if she'd prepared this all in advance. You said you didn't want to die on 7F, right?
家だって嫌よ。
Yeah, same here. And where exactly did you want to go? Let's try this again. Didn't you prepare this money just for that purpose? Then I remembered what she told me earlier. That she was going to go somewhere while she still could. She asked me, do you want to stop me or come with me? So in truth, is there somewhere you want to go?
別に
I'm gonna lose my mind. That's not much of an answer.
どこもないわよ。
That was all she murmured, desolately, sadly. If that was the case, had she been preparing for a trip all by herself without having a destination in mind this entire time? I mean, I can appreciate at least that it's very much like Himiko, and like, we know why. So it makes sense. It did make me wonder who would do such a lonely thing. As I gazed at her lonely-looking profile, I found my answer. She would.
じゃあ、あなたはどうなのよ。
How many times are we gonna have this conversation? Me, not really.
真似しないでよ。
I'm not imitating you. I really am just that boring. We kept driving along without a destination.
One had escaped from 7F without a second thought. The other had made futile preparations without a destination. But right now, anywhere is fine with me, but I want to go somewhere. At least for me, I wanted a path to follow. I was fine with anything, as long as it was a path. Hey, how about that Ouija Island you were talking about? Remember that?
Again. Maybe this time it'll stick.
Fourth time's the charm. We can get there with the money we have, that we've always had, that we've been able to come to. Really, anywhere would have been fine. As long as it wasn't 7F for as long as you could get there. Anywhere. But we couldn't just wander around aimlessly. Clearly. I wanted to head toward a destination, no matter what that destination was. What about you? Want to try going there? Please say yes. No, my god! Gabe, is it just me? Is it just me? Like, am I the only one feeling this way?
I don't. Yeah, this is. I'm very much failing to understand the point of this. I don't.
Like, I just wanted to make sure. I don't hate. Like, I will absolutely tone it down if I'm ruining.
No,
the
I'm failing to see. Like, I guess maybe it'll feel really impactful when something changes, but it does seem like it's going on a loop without any sort of reason for doing so.
Yes, it's feeling like we just had to drag out the game a little bit, make it longer, without having a destination. You see what I did there? Without having a destination. Except we know what the destination is.
Yeah, it's like we clearly have one path to keep getting back to, but they're not committing to it.
Exactly, and that's just the problem with having these two flat-out boring protagonists.
It's the couple made in hell. It's for sure now. It's not a question.
Like, if this was Himiko, she would have been like, she would have been like, I don't care what you want. We're going to Ouija Island and you're coming with me. Like, this ain't no democracy. We're going. And she would have just been like, alright. Like, we know that if we just said, like, I want to go to Ouija Island, she would have been like, okay. Like, what other choice do you have at this point? You're already, like, here. Like, unless I dropped you off somewhere. Those same eyes, the same as ever, looking somewhere into the distance. Just what could she be looking at? What was she hoping for when she came with me? Never one route. I am very determined to get through this. It's like oh god, it's already 11:16. We're midnight for you, I guess. So I'm not gonna say.
I mean, if you want to try and get another chapter done or something, that's fine with me. I'm with you on like,
cool.
Sure, just get through whatever the fuck this whole thing is, and then maybe we'll be able to finish up on a stronger note or something. Because yeah, it's like
I know.
What is the point of it?
Yeah, I want to feel the impact, but at this point, it would have to pull a lot of punches.
Really highly rated. It was got good reviews. It seemed to be pretty popular. And the first one was like fine. I figured it'd be good at doing like a set, or I guess technically the second one, the prologue, was fine. I figured it'd be setting up for some impactful stuff. Not really feeling that so far. A lot of driving without destinations.
Yep. So fingers crossed. I'm willing to just. I mean, I don't want to just like drop it because I'm sure I have hope that it's got at least a little bit more to offer.
Seriously.
But I'm just now it's just a slog. We're just grinding. We're just grinding at this point. This is her. I like looking at maps.
Yeah,
Sounds like something.
Never wanted continuing on forever. Places unknown, and I loved cars because they could take me anywhere. Like, this is the closest we've gotten to anything. It was like the 5 sentences or so before the chapter with Setsumi's kind of thoughts on things or reflections. And then everything after that is we're in a car, going around in circles, neither of us doing anything. We go here, more, I guess, yeah.
And if we, like, I didn't get that impression at all when I guess is she saying that she's always loved cars, or she's just saying I love cars? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if it was because of Himiko, of course that makes sense. But because this game came first, it's like establishing that she had loved cars, but then we were like, why?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like it was. I don't know. Not sure. It's hard to say just because, like you said, of the way they were released. Basically.
Yeah.
How much useless trivia I gained. It was all my imagination. Relentlessly chipping away at reality. I had this swimsuit. I had maps. I had no future. There's a world outside my window. There's nothing I could touch. If I closed my eyes, I could imagine a world without anything in it. But it wasn't as if the real world disappeared from me. I knew all of this. My lifelong companion scars were telling me to get used to this world of closed eyes. And I was stuff filled with what ifs and dreamed of wild possibilities. Eventually, the yearning never progressed past yearning. The bikini swimsuit, the emerald sea. My huge scars told me that I should give up on them already.
だけど
I spent most of my life in the hospital, amidst this world of closed eyes. It was so sad to only be able to choose between 7F and home. No other options given. However, it was sadder still that I couldn't think of any other places anyway. I've lived on for 22 years like this.
一つくらい好き
I remember those words. I felt time, which should have been standing still, begin to move again. That day, my heart, which should have been standing still, was in torment.
Here, let's go. The silver coupe, whose hood reflected the clear blue skies of winter. Wandering around as aimlessly as ever, but at least no more worries about gas or food. Because neither of us have said OG Island yet. Soon enough, we came across a large intersection. I hadn't obtained her approval last night, but I was still heading west regardless. Good man. The only problems were that I didn't know the roads at all, and it would be tough on our budget to take the tollways. Those were my thoughts as we drew near the large intersection. I was about to continue heading straight without a single thought when...
そこ左折
Huh?
左に曲がって
An abrupt request. Even as I wondered what was up, I turned left as she requested onto a very something. What was that about? Onto a very wide road.
これが1号線当分はまっすぐよ
For now. I was surprised by her sudden direction giving. We've been together up until now, and she seemed to know just about everything. But this was the first time that she'd voluntarily given me directions. Could it be that you've decided you want to go after all? Can we have a plot? Well, you know, to the place we talked about, Tawaji Island.
悪い
No, that's what we've been at. It's not what I meant at all. We were driving along without any purpose. I was floundering in search of some destination, and always enigmatic. She was ever looking into the distance. So the words that had just come out of her mouth took me completely by surprise.
期待してるわけじゃない
What?
別に水着が欲しいわけじゃ
Just what do you think you're saying?
なんでもないわよ
So Coop shimmered with sunlight underneath the clear winter sky. We'd passed through the steep slopes and sharp curves of Hakone, and now we're in a much more relatively flat area. Hey, around where are we anyway?
愛知県よ間もなく名古屋市内に入るわ
We were driving through the normal highways because we were on too limited a budget to use the tollways. I could never have done this alone, but thanks to her, we were making good progress. Her instructions, more accurate than any navigation system. I didn't know why I felt this way, but I could tell that we were on the right track.
次の交差点22号線に入って
Got it. I turned the steering wheel and changed lanes as I had been told to do. The scenery streaming past the window, the sights and sounds of a city that I had never seen before, spreading to the north. And around the time when the wide open spaces around us had transitioned into urban neighborhoods. Hey, want to stop by there? Some family restaurant at the roadside of the highway. I pointed to it as I drove and kept talking. After all we've had is convenience store food all the way up until now, right? Of course, it wasn't as if we'd been subsisting on convenience store food because we liked it. There was the fact that we had no money, and there was also the fact that we were on edge. Now we had a little money to spare. That's why I suggested it. After all, a family restaurant could be a nice change of pace, eh?
私はコンビニでいい
She looked down a little as she said this, as if she were staring at her clothes or something. And then... Oh, fair enough. She looked down and she said this, as if she... Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Speaking of which, those clothes were way too big on her. Alright, the next up, how about stopping by that place?
あっちって
Look, over on your side. That jeans shop over there. And there stood a jeans and casual wear wholesale chain store that I'd seen other locations of on the normal highways. That kind of store isn't likely to be that expensive either. We're stopping in, alright? I'm stopping now. We're going in. I'm not taking...
It's time for me to be decisive.
Yeah. Here we go. Progress. No reply, but no resistance either. It might well have been that it would be better for me to think of her non-replies as answers to the affirmative. Or something. Yep, that's what I'm getting to. He went into the store. She peered curiously around the 2 huge floors of the place, looking into every single corner there was. She was as without words as she always had been, and she may not have looked much different from her usual. This was a little different from the way she was when she was watching that boring TV that reflected nothing. She examined item after item of clothing and seemed to be considering the prices. And then, whenever she tried on a new outfit, she'd come running up to me and...
どう？
What do I think? I think that it looks pretty good on you.
変じゃない？
Henjanayo. I don't think so. And in this fashion, she tried on outfit after outfit, coming to show it off to me every single time. Alright, that's kinda cute. I will take it. She did not once smile or let any facial expression out, but it seemed to me that she was somehow happy about this. Alright, have you decided?
これにする？
Saying this, she showed me her final outfit, a pretty shirt and a short skirt. What she'd selected did make her look like a middle or high school student, but she seemed to be pleased enough. You know, if memory served, she'd told me in the past that she was older than me. But no matter how I looked, that just didn't seem true. Just the opposite, in fact, that I couldn't help but smile. But you know, maybe it would be better if that skirt were a bit longer? You know, I know you're a legal lolly and all that, but... Oh, no, I'm not saying it doesn't look good on you. I'm just saying... Be careful. See, it's cold, you know, and in that kind of outfit...
別に平気よ。
And she spoke these words. I saw a little bit of pink rise to her pale face. For a girl who always kept herself absolutely emotionless. Could it be that she was blushing? Yes. She's just a kudere. First expression of emotion that I'd ever seen from her. Back on the road again. No, I can't believe it's taking me that long to make that reference. Going places where I've never been. Somewhat noisy silver coupe, speeding along underneath the high heavens of winter.
次で21号線に入って。
Got it. She was acting as the navigator as usual. In no time at all, we had entered Yufu Prefecture. But if this were as usual, she'd only be looking out the window at nothing. But now she was checking herself in the side view mirror over and over, as if well pleased.
That's cute.
Checking herself in that mirror as if she didn't want me to catch her doing it.
何？
Well, it looks like all it took was you getting clothes to make you have any kind of thing.
You could have said something when I stole them. If you really wanted
Yeah.
other clothes, you had the money for it. But it's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it looks like you're pretty happy with those clothes. That's all.
別にそんなことないわよ。
That she stopped looking at the side view mirror. After a little while, she started checking herself again as I watched. So there were awfully cute things about her as well. Good to know. And even if it was something as small as this, as normal could be, I found it very cute. Around when the sun had darkened at night, some roadside somewhere, around when we'd finished our dinner, convenience store again. I wonder what's happened since we left. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Did they put an APB out on you guys? Did they... I don't know.
Just log
Is
it.
he
Oh, yeah.
dead?
Lost another couple. Shucks.
Oh, what was before this? I don't know where's the thing loosely from my... Oh, yeah. I remembered those words as I looked at the inscriptions. My blood type and name, and then the name of the hospital. Do you think they're in an uproar?
多分ね。
Nah. Yeah. Parents, friends, the doctors. That'd be the funniest shit if the parents didn't even care. He walks into the front doors after like a week, and he goes, I'm home, and they're like, I see. And then that's it. It's like, alright.
How's the car?
And you,
Car's intact. Good.
know, I broke the muffler. Get out of my house. And even if it were only a paper-thin display on their part, still a little sorry to think that they might be worried. My bad. Kosan. Mina. I fucked up. But I did something selfish without consulting anyone. But it was
あな
an
た
adventure. Hmm? What is it?
最初に死ぬって聞かされた時泣いた。
I was instantly shocked by her sudden question, and then I was silent as I pondered upon it some. And to think of it, I don't think I cried.
じゃあどうして自分だけって運命を呪った？
I think these were what Himiko asked her, right?
I thought this is what she asked Himiko.
Oh, is that what it was? Maybe.
Yeah. I don't remember doing that either. First, I couldn't believe that it was actually happening, as if it were part of reality at all. But maybe, just maybe, I did feel something. A little. One of my buddies from their technical institute bought a new car, and he was complaining about how he'd had to take out huge loans. Some got their first jobs, others were still in school. Some had children, others got dumped by their girlfriends. But I had no future. So in truth, I think I did wonder why it had to be me. Even if I told myself that this was fate, I think I did feel as if I couldn't accept that. Then, how about you?
私
What the shit?
Yeah, watashi. Did you cry? Or curse fate?
I screamed at God from Mount Fuji.
私は
Honestly. And why?
最初から何も望んでなかったから私は諦めてきた
is that so? No way to despair if you'd given up from the beginning. Not fun to turn your back that way, but not difficult either. But I couldn't help but feeling that it was just too sorrowful that way. Or could it have been that in her case, there is no other possible course of action?
前に見た映画で言ってた。狼は3年しか生きないって。
Really? That doesn't seem right.
That sucks. I felt like they lived longer.
Lifespan. Female wolf's lifespan is 14 years.
Well then.
It's very expected to be about 10 to 18 years. Or I guess it might depend on species, because another article from PBS says average lifespan between 6 and 8 years, but many will die sooner. I wonder if it's a thing about like that naturally they live a set amount of years, but because humans are killing the world and hunting them or something, that it's typical for them to die in 3. Maybe.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
She abruptly changed the topic on me.
Lifespans of wolves vary dramatically, although average lifespan is between 6 and 8 years, many will die sooner, and some can reach 13. Wolves in captivity can live up to 17 years.
でもロバは9年も生きるんだって。
Because we use them to carry shit.
Why was that? Why 3 years for wolves and 9 years for donkeys?
ロバは役に立つから長生きする。そういうことらしい。
Learning these words as she looked out the window impassively. So what you're saying is you're dying faster because you're not useful. So was this the thing that she told herself? To resign herself? To abandon herself to her fate? Midwinter sky at sunset. Progress straight through number 21 road. The flickering white specks dancing in the twilight sky. It's starting to snow, and snow hard.
どうかした？
Yeah, it's snowing. And sure enough, it looked like there was snow covering the roadsides. I had no idea when we'd entered a region of heavy snow, but as far as the eye could see, everything was draped in white. This was somewhat concerning. As far as I could tell, these tires weren't the studless variety. If we ran into any snow heavier than this, it was likely that we were going to be in trouble. Hey, does it snow here a lot? See, if it snows much more than this, it'll be tough. There wasn't any snow on the road right now, but it would be no surprise to encounter frozen road sections from here on out. And given that, it could very well become necessary to equip the tire chains, something they hadn't gone over in training. So, do you know?
この先は関ヶ原。
Well, yeah, you told me that earlier, but what I want to know if it snows a lot here. Like, I'm just like, I'm not a fucking encyclopedia.
Oh, so you don't know everything!
Well, look who's wrong! I don't know, she answered, somehow just desolate. And it made me feel that there was something incongruous here. For someone who knew the roads this well, who knew just about everything about this car, you're telling me she's not a meteorologist too? Something like that should have been child's play. We are making a lot of assumptions. Very well. I'll just drive carefully. this seems like a bad idea. A beach. We've gotten off the car and looking at a lake. Chilly wind kicked up, scattering a powder snow across the lake's frozen surface. It's a frozen surface, but we're hearing stuff. And in its midst, she slowly began walking toward that beach, as if it were the ocean itself. This is a spectacle I had seen before.
どう思う？
Are you asking me whether I think you would die without much pain if you walked in? See, this is the music again. This is the music that we talked about. I have no idea what your basis for that is.
海水は塩辛いし、
Quite a deductive ability you have there. Under the cold north wind and the falling snow, you asked jokingly, seriously, who knew, about her one end point. And after a while, she began walking toward the lake once more. You don't have any intention to die today, do you now? How much farther was it until the Sawaji Island of which we'd spoken? It wasn't as if I particularly wanted to go there, but I didn't have any problem with going there either, as we've established. But, though we'd wandered without a purpose up until now, the seeds of a final destination were being born in us. The girl, who had halted her progress toward the waters even without my having to stop her, most likely, that was the way it was for her, too.
ここから1号に戻って
Got it. From number 8 back to number 1. Under the guidance of our navigation, we're now heading toward Kusatsu.
ねえ、今って
Yeah, we still have 30,000 yen or so. 30,000 yen or so. After we'd hit that clothing store, we'd only spent money on convenience store food. What's up?
じゃあ高速に乗る？
The tollway? Why? Can't we get there through the normal highways?
確かにギリギリまでならいけるけど、でも最終的には必ず有料道路に乗る。
It seems that's how you get to Awaji Island. I didn't know it that well, but apparently in order to get there, we'd have to cross some bridge called Sato something.
じゃあ草津からバイパスに入って
Got it. Under her direction, I went from the Seta interchange to the Meishin Expressway. Zoom. Compared to all the roads we've been on so far, it was obvious that this was what a real expressway was. No traffic lights, a beautiful perspective. It seemed pretty simple to even a beginner like me. But as I got onto the rightmost lane, I could hear a terrific sound behind me. Terrific as in terrific, or like terrific as in terror-ific? At first, I had no concept of a passing lane or anything, but as I got used to it, the expressway was almost fun. Oh, okay, so good kind of terrific. That's a pretty incredible car. Some car was passing us by at terrific speed, and without thinking, the two of us exchanged glances.
Dad?
And sure enough, from her passenger's seat, she was looking somewhat different from usual. While usually she'd be staring out the window into the distance, today she was looking around at other cars with great interest. Speaking of which, she knew a lot about cars for some reason or another, didn't she? Pointing at the car that had just blown past us.
Breakdown. Details. Go.
Yeah. Hey, what kind of car is that? Go. A quiz past the time, see?
トヨタセリカオーバービュー
And the one we just overtook?
シトローエンクサラ
Wow, you know a lot. To tell the truth, I didn't know whether she was right or not. But it was really pleasant to hear words coming from her usual silent lips. So I kept plying her with questions.
青いのがユーノス赤いのはアルファロメオ
You and us, huh? She even told me about the two cars that were just passing us now. But I'm willing to bet you won't know what that is. Went to a truck, not a car, as I spoke. I wanted to see a little perplexity seep into that expressionless face of hers. So you don't know trucks that well then?
日産アトラス
Or not? Wow, you're incredible.
But you can't tell me if it's snowing.
I'd been planning on teasing her, but instead she'd gone straight over my head. Isn't that level of knowledge something to be proud about?
そう
Yeah, I think you could toot your own horn about it, and I'll probably go on actually if you wanted to. She had no words in response. It felt like she was blushing a little bit. So she loved cars after all. Then when we get there, want to try driving?
でも私免許持ってない
It'll be fine. Driving along the beach will be fun, don't you think? You probably have to get a phone book for you, since you're so short. If you went all the way to Aji Island, then there would be lots of places without any people. And this car had a stick shift, so I thought she might have fun driving it. If you want, I'll teach you. I barely know how to drive. But I'll teach someone else, sure. Although to be honest, I'm a complete beginner myself.
You need a lot of practice these past few days, though.
That is very true.
Alright. Chapter 6. I think that's where I'll call it for me, because now it's 1 a.m. here, so.
Gotcha.
Save here, but we're pretty into it here. I'm off work tomorrow, so if you want to try and finish this up tomorrow, I think we could. There was.
Yeah, I'm down.
So this is 6. Let me see.